hurt.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times, like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
I'm an Arizona truck driver. I deliver food, medicine, supplies, and hope.
And during times of crisis, I support our communities. But every day I see people putting lives and families at risk.
Distracted driving is deadly, period. Be aware, be safe, and visit sharetheroadaz.com and find tips on how to drive safely around trucks.
This message is sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation.
One of the most common questions people ask is if they can still afford to retire on $1 million or $2 million anymore. With stocks near all-time highs and bonds at all-time lows, it's actually a great question. 2008 taught millions of retiring engineers, teachers, and other professionals a costly lesson that years of market gains can be wiped out in just weeks of market losses. Not a problem if you're 30 years old with a few decades to make it back, but not if you are in retirement or almost there. I like to follow the 30, 50, 70 rule. The closer you are to 50 or 70, then at least 30 to 50% of your money should be kept safe at all times, like in an uncapped, principal secure, next generation annuity. Come and see why.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now at 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with Steve. Call 480-902-3333 and visit IQannuity.com.
Can I open it now?
I think you've waited long enough.
Yeah, go for it, kiddo.
I already have this baseball cap.
Not this one.
Look a little closer, sweetheart.
Signed?
Yeah, buddy.
I can't believe it.
Do you still have that card all these years later? Do you have trading cards that's been sitting in a box for decades? Scottsdale Cards is who you want to call first. The Valley's card, comic book, and collectibles expert since 1989. Scottsdale Cards is your source to sell your trading cards and other collectibles, including those comic books you've been doing nothing with. We are always interested in buying your vintage sports cards and comic books, certified autographs, memorabilia, and collectibles. So what collectibles do you have stored away? They could be worth thousands. Call or text 480-419-2990. That's 480-419-2990. Or go to scottsdalecards.com. That's scottsdalecards.com. Or search Scottsdale Cards on your mobile phone today.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
Here we go.
This is KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Tuesday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And before we can get to anything else, before we can even start to talk about the important sports things of the day, we have to deal with some very crushing breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We have breaking news right here, right now.
Newsflash. This is breaking news.
And it ain't good. Yeah, it turns out Kevin Bacon has officially sworn off bacon. I think that's the sign of thing that can create a singularity, and then all of a sudden we are all into a black hole. I think this is crushing news to find out. Why you guys don't look crushed?
It's shocking. I mean, there are some people that can't have bacon, for religious reasons
Kevin
or
Bacon.
health reasons. But
Kevin Bacon. His
should
name
have
is Bacon.
He should have bacon.
But he's saying he's not going to have bacon. He says, I no longer eat goat. Okay, I didn't realize eating goat was an option. He says, I no longer eat pig because I have goats and I have pigs. My wife is like, we can't get any more animals because you're going to stop eating everything. Curious Sedgwick, cooler than he is. And he says, I love animals. They're fun to be around and they're very calming, but we also love to go to the garden and get fresh herbs and tomatoes and basil and peppers. What the hell's wrong with you, Kevin Bacon? Kevin Bacon needs to come over for a barbecue to Randy's house and we could set him straight. How can bacon not have bacon?
And having the animal, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I'm a bad person. That's not going to stop me from enjoying.
That makes me more hungry.
Yeah, my grandma back in Guyana, she had a goat, and we played with that goat for the summer, and then one day, the goat was gone, and there was a delicious goat curry at the house. And I remember being a kid, I cried and I still ate it.
And it was delicious.
And it was delicious. And I felt bad, but also full.
What was the goat's name?
I don't even remember.
Bob the goat.
I don't even remember what we named.
Cody Goaterson.
Which is always a mistake.
Very delicious, Bob.
Don't name it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You shouldn't name what you're going to eat. That's for sure. But this is just a crushing blow, I think, for all of us bacon lovers when Kevin Bacon has given up bacon. That
That's
just
too bad. Yeah.
rocks my world a little bit.
Yeah,
Wilbur says, wait a second, no more bacon? Yeah, Kevin Bacon is no longer eating bacon. He's like, I got to sit down. Yeah, I think we all probably could use a moment with that information, but to try to distract you from that crushing information, happy National Pickle Day.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, happy National Pickle Day. Today is the day of the pickle, and do you know how far back pickles go?
Gee, no, I have no idea.
Give it a guess. Go ahead.
1628.
All right, Keon.
I'm gonna go even earlier than that. I'm gonna go like year 1100.
You guys are both over. Price is Right rules means you're wrong. Closest without going over wins, and it was 2030 BC. Nobody was going to win that. But that is when they first found out the Mesopotamians were pickling cucumbers, basically the pickles we eat today, stuff they found in India, and ever since then, pickles. So there you go, pickles.
Who would have thunk it? I mean,
Pickle D says, it's my day. Heck yeah, it's going to be a great day. Woo, Pickle D. Yeah, congratulations, Pickle D. You've got a day that is all the way back to 2030. Blissful Hay says, the GOAT's name is Michael Jordan. Not going to argue with you, pal. Not going to argue with you on that one.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
I mean,
I'm really glad we didn't call the GOAT that. That would have been more traumatic than it needed to be.
You ate Michael Jordan.
Yeah. What do you mean you cooked Michael Jordan? Yeah, no, that's not.
Michael Jordan's delicious. So there's another thing that happened on this day over 50 years ago, actually 12 days after I was born, in Oregon. And this is just a legendary story. I guess what happened was this whale washes on shore. And, of course, the local news is there. At first, they weren't going to show up to this thing. And they're like, hey, you got an issue with a dead whale on the beach. And the guy's like, yeah, is that really news? No, the locals have dynamite. He's like, we're on the way. And take a listen to a little bit of that news report.
Well, I'm confident that it'll work. The only thing is we're not sure just exactly how much explosives it'll take to disintegrate this thing so the scavengers, seagulls, and crabs and whatnot can clean it up.
Yeah.
Our camera stopped rolling immediately after the blast. The humor of the entire situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. A parked car over a quarter of a mile from the blast site was the target of one large chunk. The passenger compartment literally smashed. Everyone on the scene was covered with small particles of dead whale.
And there it is.
Yeah, so big ass whale washes up on the beach.
Yeah.
The local municipality is like, well, what if we blew it up? And then all the animals would get little chunks of something to eat, not realizing it would have taken a much bigger explosion to slice and dice it, but instead, 1,000-pound chunks got blown a quarter of a mile away. Lucky nobody was killed.
I know.
Can you
Some
imagine
poor
that
guy.
being the way you go? Yes. And it smelled awful, by the way. Everybody,
bet it did.
Well,
everything smelled awful.
It's the inside of a whale. It can't smell good.
Yeah. Yeah. So right there, that amazing. That is just amazing.
Well, Smith, I think we used a little too much dino on that.
They still celebrate it there in that town of Florence. They call it Exploding Whale Day, and they have a whole day around it. They say, well, it's meant to be educational, but it's just we're just screwing around. That's basically the truth of it. We're just screwing around.
I have a question. Have you ever been there? And B, did they fill in the hole the dynamite made?
Well, it was the beach, so I think the ocean did that naturally.
All right.
But yeah, they said it was everywhere, and of course that was on camera, and it was a national story at the time. Put them on the map for sure. But
The thing that kills me is that there's one person going, I'm not sure that it's going to work, which is plenty of reason to not blow up an entire whale.
Yeah.
But they still did it. When I heard the explosion, I about fell out of my chair.
I got to be honest. If you came up and tried to reason with me, I'd be like, you're making a good point, but we've got some dynamite here.
Yeah.
But it's already here.
Yeah, we're just going to see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that so much. I do love. And here's a little something from Moist One. By the way, it was a sperm whale.
Oh.
Take that, make of that what you want.
Oh,
888-368-1580. Swazman says, I'm Pat sitting up here in Rio Verde, north of Scottsdale, and obviously listen to you guys on a boombox radio signal. Comes in pretty good out here in the sticks. This is a pretty nice house, too, by the way. On a sports note, Randy, how about that Cardinal victory? Buffalo looks average, eh?
How about that Cardinal victory? As I said last week, and I was mocked and jeered and completely made fun of, but the running of the table has begun.
Okay,
and,
now
it
just
will
stop.
continue on
Just
this
stop.
week. So just prepare, Cardinal fans. Who's with me? Let's go, Cardinals! Now, you might say that. It's okay. That's all right.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, hey, if Kevin Bacon's not going to eat bacon,
yeah,
I wonder if he's not going to eat pork ribs and pork chops and pork sausage. You can practically eat the entire pig. I know. So he's got no leg to stand on when it comes to a ham sandwich now. I'm just so disappointed.
Yeah, that's too bad. But you know what? You know what I always say. More for us.
Yeah. But still a little heartbreaking on that one. Mr. Wilbur says, if anybody tries pushing turkey bacon on me next Thursday, we're just going to come to blows. Again, Moist One probably just sit this one out on that text. Thank you.
That's not what he meant. That's not
Donnie
what he meant.
says, give us the same vitriol on Josh Allen the same way you guys criticize Kirk Cousins.
I will.
Can't do that because Josh Allen is good.
Josh Allen is good, but I've got plenty of, I wouldn't say vitriol, but I got criticisms. Yeah.
We'll have plenty to say, Donnie.
What happened to that team? Wow.
The Vikings? I don't know, man.
No, I was talking about the Bills.
I'm just messing with Donnie.
I know.
Cowboy Sparky says, Ray Anderson is out at ASU. Why? I feel like Cowboy Sparky is listening to yesterday's podcast because that's been news for over 24 hours.
Yeah. And he resigned is the reason why. Yeah.
He just got to the thing, like I said on Twitter, he just got to where he was like too old for this bleep. That's what he basically said in his bye-bye statement. He's like, yeah, I'm 69. He's like, I think it's time to do something else. Navy Brad says, holy moly. Yes, I'm going to tell them about that in a second, Navy Brad. That is worth mentioning. In fact, let's just do this right now so we can move on to other things. Let's give the weekly awards for stuff. And Niner Gang 12 is the weekly picks winner. I've decided I give up trying to get you to do it the right time. So when you do it, I'm gonna rush over and meet you there like it was supposed to be. But yes, Niner Gang had 12 correct, and I had 8. Randy had 8. Ralph had 8. Radio Ron had 8. Not you, Ken. You had 5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
sorry about that.
Like I said yesterday, I knew it was bad. I knew it was bad before Honestly, before the late games, I knew it was bad.
Yeah, but none of
Yeah.
you blokes had the Cardinals like I did.
I also had the Cardinals.
Oh,
yeah,
did you have
he
the
would have had
Cardinals?
I
4.
did. Yeah.
So here's the current standing. I have 95. Radio Ron has 90. Keon, you and Ralph are tied at 85.
I just needed Buffalo to be a normal team last night.
And Randy, you're looking good today, man. You're looking
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
So here is the best of the fantasy football. Oh, first, before I do that, let me tell you the standings of the picks. Choro is now the only person in first place. He's got 103 correct so far.
Hey, all right. Choro, way to go.
Germ is good 20, made some bad decisions, I guess. He's 101. Bacher 44. He's got 100. So that's the top 3 right there. Raven Kid sitting there with 99. Raider Royce with 97. And then a bunch of people have 96. Flying Monkeys, Arizona Vikings, Shooter McGavin, He Hate Me Now, Brett Maverick, Hefty Lefty, Fighting Wampa, and Kyle G all have 96. Now I have 95, but I think that I've dropped down the standings in the 20 range or something. I don't know. I'm not even on the page with this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kind of sucked. But, it's just the way it goes. I mean, I tell you what, that 1 week where we all had like 3 or 4 right, that just, if I were trying to win the money this year, if I were even eligible, I just don't see it happening because I am almost 10 wins behind Choro, to give you an idea. So congratulations to Choro. And yes, he's probably going to be insufferable about it once he realizes it. CK is on the text line, says the Niners will draft ASU's Scattaboo and will be probably Juzikes. How do you say that dude's name? That fullback for the 49ers.
It's use check.
Use check?
Yeah.
Oh,
Kyle
Oh,
use
man.
check. Juice check. Yeah.
Can we just get these guys when they come from Europe to phonetically respell their
I
name?
don't know that he's from Europe, but it's a Polish name. Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about at some point that name showed up here. And in a million years, looking at that, nobody would get used check. Nobody would get that. Nobody. 0% of people.
Well, no, yeah, it's just
Until you have somebody tell you that, you're like, and then after somebody tells you that, you look at the spelling, you're like, that's just a lot of consonants. That's just a lot of consonants, and there's no H. What the hell are you talking about?
I just wonder if is he confused? Maybe he's supposed to be a hockey player with a name like that, instead of a football player.
I'm going to tell him what he can and can't be.
Well, maybe he thinks he's playing hockey right now.
Should be. Anyway, so by the way, we no longer have an undefeated team. And actually, this information comes by the person who had the highest point total in all of the Daily Blender fantasy football leagues. Boogie in League 5 had 210 points, and he was playing Donnie, who is now no longer undefeated.
Wow. Sorry for your loss, Donnie.
The fact that a Lions fan beat a Vikings fan for that is pretty funny to me.
Yeah. 210.35 on Boogie. Is that the highest total we've had this year? I haven't been tracking the totals.
I don't.
Sounds like it might be the highest.
Sounds like it because I can't think of anybody going over 200. I can't. Maybe that's happened, but I can't recall it.
Boogie had the game of his season because he ain't been doing that great, in League 5. He's not in the bottom. He ain't in the top. So then all of a sudden, just a whammo, just put the hurt on Donnie like that.
My. Yeah.
That's pretty spectacular. It's that is Boogie's season right there. No matter what happens next, he's got that where he took Donnie's undefeated status away from him. He took it from him. He snapped it in half and he stomped on it and he urinated on it. And then
really
did even worse things to it that I can't say here. So
Wow.
Donnie is on the text line. Donnie says, can I get a mulligan on picks? I forgot to submit last week. No, it's not how that works. Hey, I also want a mulligan on fantasy this week. Nope, that's not how that worked. You put in a team and you lost. And even if you didn't, I can't do anything about it. Of course, I was hoping Moist One pulled all his players off. And I knew he wouldn't forget. I thought maybe if he ends up in jail.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
You want to reword that, please?
What? Moisten pulled all his players off. What I got to reword there? He pulled them off out of it, and he just put them all on the bench.
He removed all of his players.
Pulled them off. Don't even. You can't make something dirty out of everything. I mean, if I were to say he did it quickly and he jerked them off his lineup, that
would definitely be.
But he
it.
didn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't like he did it like that, like quickly like that. It was it was probably slow and gradual, kind of. He likes to make things last. But anyway, not everything's got to be dirty, Randy.
I didn't want to know that.
Fighty Wampa says you're pretty much going to eat any part of the pig. You don't believe me? Ask Kermit the Frog. Oh yeah, that frog eats pork.
Oh my God.
That is documented. Today, Pink Eye, I guess if today is National Pickle Day, isn't that fried pickle day? I don't think I've ever had a fried pickle. Wait, no, I've had a fried pickle. You know what it tastes like? A pickle. It's kind of warm. It's got some crunchy stuff on it.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
Moist One says, rookie move by Ray Anderson, finishing at 69. You see, wait till he hears the rest of the show. Anyway, so there you go. Those are the weekly awards. Congratulations to Niner Gang with your 12 right, and congratulations, Boogie, for bitch slapping Donnie into the next century. That was. I mean, I think Donnie had like 140 points though, so it wasn't like.
So it was like a respectable game. He would have won any other game he played except that one.
No, I don't think that's true.
No, okay.
I don't think that's true. Moist One, he had 170 when he took me down, and of course I did. I put up my standard 100 points, and actually I think like 120. That's right, 122. He had a 170, but then let's see. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. Moist One would have beat anybody. So I feel a little bit better about losing, but you never feel good about losing. There are no moral victories. But as far as League 5 goes, where Boogie that's put like the massive hurt, the absolute taser to the testes, that was let's see. Detroit versus everybody had 146. So there was one other person that could have beat Donnie this week. So,
and it's another Lions fan.
Yeah. Yep. Pickle D says, well, I'll get fried later. We'll make it fried pickle day. You live your best life, Pickle D.
You have fun, man.
I don't even know what Mr. Pringle just typed. It's just a bunch of letters all together. Sort yourself out, Pringle. Get it together. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to bring back the Wheel of Sports, ladies and gentlemen. I have so many random sports stories here that we're going to go ahead and just do the thing we do with that Wheel of Sports. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
NFL Thursday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens are home to take on the Cincinnati Bengals in an AFC North matchup. The Ravens leading the division at 7-3, 3.5-point favorite against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, who are 5-4. Baltimore minus 190 on the money line. The Bengals plus 162 with an over/under of 46. The Arizona Cardinals will be in Houston to take on the Texans. Houston, a 4.5-point favorite, minus 200. Arizona plus 168. Over/under is at 47.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's ATECHAZ.com/jobs.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
We all know driving hammered gets you nailed, but did you also know driving high is a DUI? I'm Officer Badalucco with the Gilbert Police Department. Anything that impairs your driving makes you dangerous on the road. If you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is illegal. Be smart with marijuana use. Get the facts at drivinghighaz.com and spread the word with #HighDUI. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Next game up, it's Thursday night football. Bengals at Ravens starts at 5:30 p.m. Then on Friday, we got GCU hosting San Francisco for some WAC action. I don't know if that's even WAC action. It's a little tournament that they got going on there. And of course, the Open Division quarterfinal for high school football, that's going to be on at 7 p.m., but over on Money Radio because we got GCU on Fanatic. So when that happens, then the AIA games are on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM. So there you have it. 888-368-1580. Berg says, you know, that commercial break seemed like a good time to text in. Thanks for the fun game in fantasy this week, Randy. Randy.
Next question.
Well, I don't even know what's the problem here.
So I take it wasn't a fun game in fantasy.
It was just 121-81. It wasn't like the worst thing that could happen to you, Randy.
Congratulations, Berg. If nothing else, I am a good loser.
You are not a loser, Mr. Randy White.
I am now 5-5. Remember when I was 5-0?
Yes,
that?
I do.
Remember when I said, and now allow me to start dropping through the ranks like a bag full of rocks?
But your negativity
remember when I said
into
that?
being.
And so here it is. I continue to sink. Congratulations, Berg, on a wonderfully played game.
By the way, your story is incorrect. Hey, Bebo, you want to shut the hell up? I'm doing a radio show. Sorry. Bebo's in Bebo jail, and he's just basically communicating to me he does not feel like he should be in Bebo jail. I don't know why he's in there, but my wife has decided he should be in there.
Well.
So now he's just staring at me and going, oh. He's a very vocal dog. Anyway,
Right.
Randy, you've only lost 3 in a row. So you were not 5-0, and then you went down 5. So whatever happened in that history was not quite that way.
All right.
So,
okay.
You can do this.
Okay.
Pull yourselves up by the bootstraps
Just
and
want you to
destroy
know,
your next opponent.
Keon, just go ahead and swing into my spot. It will soon be vacant.
Right now in the standings, Rosalie Michaels is the one who will be leaving the Premier League because let's see, she's in 9th place. You're in 7th. Ralph somehow is in 5th, and I'm in 3rd. Also, undeservedly. I have no business being there, to be honest. But that is the fact, Jack. So I've got
How
the
am I in
number one
7?
guy this week.
Oh, I guess I am. Yeah, look at that.
So just do your best. Work the wire. Do what you got to do.
Well, there is nothing on the
there is nothing.
There is nothing on the waiver wire. So
we have 2 more teams in the Premier League than the other Daily Blender Fantasy Football League. So if you need a player, you're screwed.
Oh yeah.
And I've got just the right combinations of players that always get me at least 100 points. And I think that I just have been beating people on their worst day. But now that I played Moist One, who's one of the top guys, going to play, I think, Thundar, I think he's another top guy. Yeah, my standings will probably plummet. So it'll be a fight between Randy and I and Ralph to see, who barely makes it into the playoffs, probably. 888-368-1580. So are you ready to do this? We haven't done this in a while, but we're going to do is we've taken all these little stories and we have taped them to the Wheel of Sports, and then Randy will give it a spin, and wherever it lands, that's what we're going to talk about next. So, all right, Randy, give that thing a spin. Surprise, it works. All right, well, this is bad news. I hate this, and I don't understand it, and maybe he was just giving lip service, but Turtle Without a Shell, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, was talking, and they're like, hey, how about that Mexico City? And he's like, yeah, how about that Mexico City? He says, we think there's an enormous opportunity to continue growing the game of basketball here in Mexico City and throughout the country. He says, we also see this as a gateway to essentially the rest of Latin America. Well, that's nice. And then he says, a move to Mexico City is very doable. He says, we're not in expansion mode right now, but if a team were to move, I could see them moving to Mexico City. Excuse me? What?
Well, it is a world-class city. I mean,
I'm not giving it a hard time to Mexico City, but that's how long is that flight? Somebody look up how long is a flight to Mexico City
from
I guess from Phoenix. We'll go from there. Then you have to say how long is it a flight from anywhere else, because now you're going I believe deeper into Mexico. You're not just going into Nogales or something. You're going into Mexico. So I wonder about the feasibility of having a team in Mexico City. But the other teams that he talked about for future expansion, Vancouver and Montreal. I'd rather see us in Mexico than Canada.
We already have
reasons. We're already in Canada. We're in the Toronto.
I'm against it.
Got the Raptors up there. Okay. Before I get to my point, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes as a nonstop flight from here.
Okay. From here,
Mexico City.
So we're the closest, probably, or people in Texas are closest. But if you're coming from New York to Mexico City, then now you're looking at a 6 or 7 hour flight. Feel like that's possibly an issue.
Well, I mean, are you really kidding me, though? These guys have airliners all to themselves. These big, giant first class seats,
matter.
Plenty of leg room.
Still,
catered meals.
It's time.
Beverages.
It's time taken away, and whether you're in first class or in coach, it's maybe a different level of jet lag, but jet lag can still happen.
I mean, I can kind of see, but I mean, it's not like they're traveling on commercial jets down to Mexico City. I just flew cross country not too long ago. I was in back in the cheap seats, and I flew 6 hours with a lady who had backed her seat all the way up. And I'm not a small guy, so the tray was right up next to me. The whole 6 hour flight.
Yeah, it's just, but if you're going to have a 6 hour flight, it's not 1 6 hour flight. You play 82 games in a season,
right?
So somebody is going to be making that flight.
Okay, I just
more a couple times.
Yeah.
As much money as a lot of these guys, I don't know.
Yeah, so you can start to say all those little taglines, but the reality of it is travel can be exhausting. And if you're a highly tuned athlete, every extra hour that you have in the air, it can drag on you and it can have an effect on how well you play. So, but listen, I'm not anti-Mexico City. I might be anti-Canada. But I'm not anti-Mexico City.
I'm not anti-Mexico City, but I would hate to see Mexico City, Montreal, Vancouver jump in the line ahead of Seattle, who had a team, who did not want to lose the team. The owner lied, took the team to Oklahoma
Yeah.
City. They've been doing well down there. But Seattle, they're Supersonic fans still. They should get their team back first before we start talking about any team
Okay.
outside of the United States.
So it wouldn't be just one team. You don't expand in odd numbers. You expand in even numbers. So what other
Well, the
American city needs a team?
The NBA has expanded in odd numbers before, but
It shouldn't,
but
because that's against my OCD.
they don't care.
So
So
I'll make them care.
but I don't know if you get Seattle.
We could just take a team from Oklahoma City. I have no idea why those people have basketball.
Because
No clue.
that's where the owner of that franchise wanted to go. And the
Mm.
thing is, it's been well run since it's there, and they sell out all the time. Even when they're bad, they show up to games. So I don't
What
think
you don't
we should,
see it's a 300 person stadium. They just the way they light it and the way they shoot the camera angles is really
it just
misleading.
looks like a
And then they bring in all the children of the corn and they set them in the seats in there.
packed
Yeah.
NBA arena with screaming fans. But okay.
So what other city though? I mean, if we get one for Seattle, who else gets one? And do we need more teams in the NBA right now? I don't know that we do. In fact, Adam Silver said we're not in expansion mode right now.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get one. Vegas would probably be the other city.
Oh yeah, you're right. Vegas and Seattle, and I think everybody'd be happy with that, right? But if you put a team in Mexico City before Vegas or Seattle, if you put a team in Vancouver or Montreal, I think that's not cool. I think you're right, Randy. There's no way they should let those places go first.
Why should they? I mean, it's just that you have fans here in this country that want to see NBA basketball.
Oh yeah.
Why should Vancouver, which is a city that's not that far from Seattle, get a team?
Kiss the Cook says, when are you guys going back in the studio? What's the holdup? Wash your hands. Use a purifier. Don't pee on the seat. Get her done. Well, here's the thing. We learned how to do the show this way. Why, are we having problems with our internet or something?
No.
Yeah.
We sound fine.
Oh, okay. We learned to do the show this way because of necessity during COVID. And then we realized, wow, we get a lot more work done at home. We're those rare people who are way more productive doing the other things we do other than this show. And to drive an hour there and an hour back, that takes away hours of productivity. So that is why we do this. But, we don't announce when, but we occasionally find ourselves back in the studio. And, as long as this is working, we're pretty happy doing it this way. I mean, every now and then, that kind of thing happens, but I think it's rare. I mean, nobody's telling me if it's happening.
Yeah, no, I usually do, and it hasn't been an issue lately. So
there you go, Kiss
There
the
you
Cook. This is if this is working. If it ain't
What's the
broke,
matter, kid? What's the matter,
don't
Kiss
fix
the
it.
Cook? You missing us? Are you missing us?
How can you miss us? It's the same
it's
experience,
the same show.
no matter
Maybe-
where we are.
Maybe he wants to come by the studio and visit us.
Yeah, no thanks. Finding Wampa says, I'm pretty sure the NBA sent all those cardboard cutouts during the COVID season to Oklahoma City to make it look like their stadium is sold out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think he's got something there.
No, man. When
feel like he's
Russell
right.
Westbrook and Kevin Durant were there, that stadium was sold out. There aren't cardboard
Oh,
cutouts.
you probably think the moon landing was real too.
I sure do.
I do too, actually.
Yeah.
But I just felt like that was the thing to say right there.
Kind of a bad example, but
Pickle D says, you can't even drink the water in Mexico. We're going to send a whole ass team there? A whole ass team? Well, yeah, I imagine the Lakers would go. That could be an issue.
And also, people do not like playing for the Raptors for one key reason, which is you get taxed twice.
Oh,
if you
Canada
play
tax.
in Toronto, the nation of Canada would like their taxes, and the U.S., because you are a U.S. citizen, would still like their taxes from you. It's like the opposite of playing in Florida and Texas, where you don't have the state income tax. You get taxed twice for playing in Toronto. So you put a team in Vancouver, you put a team in Mexico. You know what? Mexico's going to want their tax. Nobody's going to enjoy that.
I feel like the exchange rate on the currency is probably a little different there.
I mean, I don't know,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
I'm guessing that it's still not going to be fun to have to pay more taxes than you want to
Yeah.
to a country you don't actually live in, so you won't see the benefit of those taxes.
I'm just saying, if I have to do this, I want Mexico. I don't want Canada.
Like if you have to choose, yeah.
Yeah, because there's already a team in Canada. And of course, Adam Silver is like, oh, yeah, the Toronto Raptors done a good job making themselves Canada's team. And I know there's interest from Montreal and still ongoing interest from Vancouver. So, yeah, I feel like when he says stuff like that, you know, the one thing you'll notice about Adam Silver is when he does talk, there's not a word wasted, and it's with a purpose. And he's very measured, even in live interviews with his responses. So I don't know how soon, but it looks like you're going to end up in the future. I don't know how far out. Mexico City, Vancouver, Montreal, and Adam Silver also eyeballing other parts of Latin America. Yeah, like he said, it's a gateway to the rest of Latin America.
Which I think makes sense because basketball, you know, they obviously play it in a lot of Latin American countries, but just in terms of having that pipeline of players, you get some players come from Latin America, but to have a pipeline of players the same way they do from Europe, so that you are getting, you know, Wemby from France, you are getting Luka Doncic, you are getting Nikola Jokic. That's going to be, you know, the future as far as Adam Silver is concerned.
I just don't see how the NBA or the NHL or the MLB or the NFL or any other sports franchise can put teams in a place where there is lawlessness and the place that, you know, there's no
Canada
stopping
is ridiculous.
Well, I wasn't talking about Canada. I was talking about Mexico.
Oh.
And we won't even go down to Puerto Penasco. Now imagine these guys going to Mexico City. I mean, that's in the interior of Mexico. And you're talking about these guys who are millionaires. Hey, talk about a target for some of these drug lords out there. I mean, until they get that under control, let's see how you could put any sports franchise down there.
I don't think they'd mess with that, and here's why. They enjoy the money that is being made from tourism. The cartels do just as much, and I think that they don't want a bad rep for, say, Mexico or some of these other places. Yes, they will do great violence. Yes, collateral damage doesn't matter. But I feel like in these situations, we've sent NFL teams there and not one single incident has happened. In fact, it was one of the Arizona Cardinals staff that started some stuff, and it wasn't the other way around. So I don't know if the cartels are going to go and mess with that. In fact, they'll probably warn everybody off saying, hey, don't do this. Don't do anything here. It's we want more of this because it brings more money to our city or state or country. So maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that they would not be involved in that sort of thing, Randy.
All right. Well,
and if they're listening, remember I said nice things. All right, taking a break. We'll come back and pick this back up. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey. You need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harmon Solar today. Harman Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harman Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Can I open it now? I think you've waited long enough.
Yeah, go for it, kiddo.
I already have this baseball cap.
Not this one.
Look a little closer, sweetheart.
It's signed?
Yeah, buddy.
I can't believe it.
Do you still have that card all these years later? Do you have trading cards that's been sitting in a box for decades? Scottsdale Cards is who you want to call first. The Valley's card, comic book, and collectibles expert since 1989. Scottsdale Cards is your source to sell your trading cards and other collectibles, including those comic books you've been doing nothing with. We are always interested in buying your vintage sports cards and comic books, certified autographs, memorabilia, and collectibles. So what collectibles do you have stored away? They could be worth thousands. Call or text 480-419-2990. That's 480-419-2990. Or go to scottsdalecards.com. That's scottsdalecards.com. Or search Scottsdale Cards on your mobile phone today.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
There's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So a lot of people have a lot to say about the chance of an NBA expansion team going to Mexico City or Vancouver or Montreal. I'd rather have it be Mexico just because I don't trust the Canadians. That's all. It's my personal thing. You guys have yours, whatever. Kiss the Cook says, what? The cartels already have a bad rep. Oh, let's see. You make X amount of money. How much money for the safety of you and the family? No, I know what you're saying, but they also protecting some of their other interests. That does not serve their interest for them to do that, is what I'm saying. Cardinal Art says, don't forget about the dude from the Raiders.
I can't remember what show it was. It was a National Geographic show, but they had that show.
The Raiders guy? I was I was in the middle of a text here.
Sorry.
He says, don't forget about the dude from the Raiders, Jeff Go. He was on that good tequila and white lines having a good time. I don't know who he's talking about. So go ahead.
Man. Yeah. Man, I can't remember exactly the name.
But
of
that sounded
person.
like him doing the thing, not something being done to him. But go ahead, Keon.
But yeah, just to go back to the text about the cartels, are around where people go for spring break, so that they can sell drugs, and they don't want violence. They don't want anybody to get harmed or shot or hurt or whatever, because then you lose the customers. So that I feel like this would be a similar situation. You would lose potential people to buy whatever it is you want them to buy, even if it's illegal, if nobody wants to go because they're scared to go.
Yeah, but the thing I see as a contradiction to that is the fentanyl. The fentanyl that they'll put in some of these drugs, it kills off their customers. And that part I've just not yet begun to understand.
But that from what I understand, happens on this side of the border. Adding the fentanyl stuff is cutting things with fentanyl. That's on this side. It doesn't get sent over here with fentanyl. It gets added here. So I don't know why that would be either, but that's just the thing.
Cardinal Art says, I just smoke reefer and sip quality alcohol, Jeff Go. I believe you. I wasn't calling that into question.
No, just have a good time, man.
Blissful Hayes says, Phoenix would like an NBA team. Shut your face, Blissful Hayes. Shut up. Boogie says, ja, which, by the way, is laughing in Spanish in text. The Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to stop reading it when you do that. I might have to start saving you from yourself. You do not believe they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Like, if there was ever a year, that is where I have an excuse for Boogie, which is, for most of his life, that sentence has absolutely been impossible. It's not impossible this year.
We don't usually see this stuff. If you, I don't know what the deal is with our YouTube feed. Sometimes you can comment on it. Sometimes you can't. But somebody by the initials MB said, the Lions had a very similar SOV as the Niners and Eagles, yet you're saying they haven't beaten anybody. I haven't looked at the Niners or the Eagles. When I did look at the Lions' strength of schedule, they've only played a couple of real teams in there, and they lost. Those were a couple of their losses. So, yeah, the Detroit Lions haven't really proven themselves against a substantial team yet, if you ask me. I mean, they did beat the Chiefs, but that was Chiefs week 1. Everybody does that, so it's not a big deal. 602 Pats fan says, just mind your business, and you should be fine when you're in Mexico. That's really generally true everywhere. Just everywhere. Don't be out at 2:30 in the morning, and stuff like that. Mr. Pringle says, nothing like Grand Canyon and a little whack action. That's right, Mr. Pringle. That's right. Berg says, how many of us are 5-5? Doesn't matter where we are now. Just get in the tournament, Randy, and anything can happen.
That's
right.
true. That's true. Yeah.
It's got to be fight. You got to fight to be above the 8th place in the standings in the Premier League. You got to be
funny.
up there.
You're telling me I need to go fight. This is literally, there's nothing more I can do than put the team on the field. I mean, I can't go out and play the game. I have no way of changing the outcome of games. It is what it is.
You're doing fine, Randy. You're doing fine.
All right.
So King Kitten says, hey, I just got a new job at Costco. 40-hour holiday seasonal to permanent position. Beers, Randy, for everyone.
All right. There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
Now
make sure
we're
it's
talking.
Costco beer so we can afford that.
Yeah.
Donnie says, what's the best bet for the biggest NBA game of the year? Wolves, Suns. I don't know, man. I'm not really bullish on the Suns. Like I said, when you're saying that doesn't make any sense. I'm not really, I don't know. The Suns right now, not in a great place. So I don't know if you could say that's going to be this great big game. The Suns have lost quite a few games. The Suns right now are 4-6. We're way back in the division. It's too early that matters, but
yeah, we've got to,
something's got to get fixed.
Yeah, but and I'm not saying to wait until April or May, but that's how long this thing goes, man. You have to know that a season is you partially trying to figure things out and then string together a series of wins, and it doesn't have to start as soon as the season starts.
Yeah, Donnie's just feeling his oats on that because the Wolves are 7-2 right now.
Yeah, and they look good. I mean, okay, I never think Karl Anthony Towns looks good, but Anthony Edwards looks good, and
Donnie says, let's bet a bucket of fried chicken on the game. When is that game? When do they play the Wolves? Is that
soon is that game is that game is tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not betting anything on the Suns right now until they have all their players back, and for a while.
The only good thing that the Suns have going for them in this matchup in particular is that the T-Wolves are playing tonight and tomorrow. So it'll be a back-to-back for them, and the Suns will be more rested. But that's the only main advantage I see.
So how about we pause on that? I'm looking down the schedule. Did we play you guys again? There we go. April 5th. Let's take a look at that bet on April 5th. The other nice thing about April 5th is that is a home game for the Suns. Right? Well, so is what's happening.
Yeah, tomorrow is also a home game. Yeah, so it's actually 2 road games for Minnesota.
So who's back for the Suns? Is Beal back? I know that Devin Booker is supposed to be back. But
Beal's back, but he's been on a minutes limit.
I don't feel horribly confident, to be honest. Even with Beal back, even with Devin Booker back.
I don't either. And honestly, like with the Suns, I've got to see them iron out that late game stuff. Like they're in these games that they're losing. They're not really getting blown out. But you've got to be able to, in the NBA, get buckets in the fourth quarter, and they can't right now. So I don't know if that's a Durant thing, that's a Beal thing, or if that's just you take those 2 guys away and what do you have? But it's not pretty right now, and that's a tough team to bet on.
I would love to bet with you, Donnie, on that, and and maybe I should. What do you guys think? This is a bucket of fried chicken.
the worst case scenario, Donnie gets some chicken. Best case scenario, you get free chicken.
Yeah.
You don't really have a whole lot to lose there.
I feel like that's a Venmo thing, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. Should I make the bet? What do you think, Randy? Should I go ahead and just believe in the Phoenix Suns that they're on the way back, or is it too soon?
It's way too soon. Don't make that bet.
Okay, I'm not going to make that bet.
He's just trying to get free fried chicken out of you.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's really good fried chicken. I don't care what anybody says.
It is good.
No blame. I'm just saying.
All right, Randy, let's spin the wheel of sports again. Oh, this one's right up your alley, Randy. So this weekend, there's a Grand Prix in Las Vegas. The F1 is rolling through the streets of Las Vegas. And now, here's the thing about that. And this really just kind of makes me laugh. One of the organizers is like, wow, we didn't know it was going to be cold. We didn't realize temperatures were going to go down. You guys didn't look it up? Yeah, give me a high of 69 and a low of 48. When this race starts, this race is on at 10 p.m. local time.
Yeah, well,
why are you starting at 10 p.m. local time? Well, because the lights are on. We like to, and this is going to just look good. Of course, then we'll air this in Europe, the next morning. So this is just kind of, you thought it'd be cool. Yeah, cool's right. It'll be in the 50s. And about your tires, right, Randy?
Yes, exactly.
How do you not look these things up? And so here's what it is. Pirelli, the official tire supplier of F1, they were like, well, so which tires should be used? And they're like, none. What are you doing? Why are you racing so late at night? This is supposed what is wrong with you? These things are supposed to operate at a certain temperature.
And it's not a race course either. It's the city streets. It's on the strip. So that's going to be such a challenge for Pirelli and these F1 teams. Have to wait and see how this. And then, as you know, at night it starts to get kind of moist out there when the dew point is starting to. And,
the dew point. No, sorry,
there's a lot of hookers in Vegas, but I wasn't saying.
And those tires, all that porn that the people drop on the ground out there, the tires might not have traction when they hit those little slips of those little flyers and stuff out there.
No.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about if you've been to Vegas.
No.
The streets are littered with porn.
Okay, so anyway, and these F1 cars, they're very persnickety about things and how they run and what kind of temperatures. And
they're going to crash.
Well, they're going to it's going to be a difficult race, and I would venture to say there'll probably be some changes if they continue on with this date in the future.
It is hard enough for these cars when they do the city street thing for those tires and for them to try to configure how those cars are going to operate. And now add, because if it's too much temperature, it's just as bad if it's too little temperature, because they got to warm up those tires or else they don't have the gription. That's a word my wife made up, by the way. They don't have the gription that is necessary when they come around curves and do what they're doing. And like you say, this ain't all left turns. This is squirrely.
And not only that, usually in an F1 race, they mandate that you use two different types of tire compounds. In other words, two different types of tires. One might be super soft and will really adhere to the road, especially once it gets warm. And then you might have a medium tire where it's not as grippy, but you can go faster on the tire because it's a bit more durable on the streets and it doesn't wear out as fast. And then they have the hard compound where it's like driving on ice, but you can go super fast. So it's going to be interesting to see what Pirelli comes up with, what tire combinations the teams and Pirelli will land on, because normally in the race, you got to use two different types of compounds.
Well, there's going to be crashing. It's going to be slippery.
I would venture to say it is, yes. At 10 o'clock at night, yes.
Kind of want to tune in now.
And it'll be live here in the United States. So
Moist One says, I'm very interested in the context behind the word gription being invented by your wife. Please explain. Oh, my wife, she likes to play fun and loose with the English language and stuff, but it has nothing to do with what you think it does, you pervert. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it had nothing to do with that. So I think she was talking about her tires at one point. So how much time do we have? Can we spin the wheel again, or is it too late?
It's too late.
All right, fine. Listen, we haven't spun the wheel of sports in a very, very long time, and we used to always do it towards the end of the show. So if it's confusing you people, please understand this is not the end of the show.
Yeah,
This is the beginning of the show. And when we come back, we'll continue to spin the wheel of sports because I got nothing but random sports stories. Yes, we are going to talk about what happened on Monday Night Football. Yes, we got a bunch of NFL stuff to talk about too. But right now, we're just spinning the old wheel of sports till we get through all these stories. Moist One says, by tire, do you mean leather wheel? What the hell's a leather wheel? I'm not Googling it.
Don't even go there. Yeah, no.
Okay, I might have to.
And I don't even know that one, and I don't trust it.
Yeah, no.
Don't trust it.
We almost should hire somebody to pre-read Moist One's text before I even get them. I'm just saying. All right, guys, hour 2 is up next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Oh, this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Collaboration is the topic of the day. What is the standard operating procedure for a Quigley White House? First, C-SPAN is coming to the Oval Office. We work from facts, provable evidence, but not the isms and sarcasms and mudslinging of recent years. The overriding goal is that the needs of the many must outweigh the needs of the few. You know, the Federal Civil Service is loaded with experts. They will be a constant decision-making resource. Industry and all interested stakeholders will be at my table. Countless laws will be repealed. Members of the House and the Senate, as well as governors, will be in constant White House meetings as we hash out and form policy, rules, and laws. You know, Trump made whimsical decisions. Biden is too mentally fragile to make decisions. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com. Donate what you can, and together we make America work for everybody.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open air zoo when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get the 2023 Nissan Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy among gas engines. Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Auto Pacific segmentation, excluding hybrids and electric vehicles. 2023 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city 34 highway to 30 city 37 highway for 2023 Nissan Rogue. As shown, Nissan Rogue Platinum all-wheel drive, 28 city 34 highway. Actual mileage may vary.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K240 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And during the break, I kind of like to look through my news feeds and see what's going on out there. And one of the things that has been striking me lately, and maybe it's because I'm getting older, maybe it's because I'm getting closer to the end than I am at the beginning. But these archaeologists, it seems like every week they're like, oh, hey, we dug up this guy's grave. And look, he had these things with him. And, oh, that changes the way we see history. That changes the way, we really thought about archaeology. And, boy, we didn't realize this country was doing this or this country was doing that or that they had this sort of technology. And they're like, oh, wow, that is fascinating. And then I'm like, why don't you just leave these dead people alone? Why you got to be digging up the dead people? And so then I think is like, when I get dead, are they going to be digging me up someday? And I don't like the idea of it. And once I'm dead and buried, please don't dig me up. That's what I want to put on my gravestone. But the thing is, it may be so far in the future that they don't know English. So I'm thinking, what if I did something in mathematics and a binary code said, hey, please just leave me alone. Don't do this. Please, I'm asking you nicely, future people. Don't dig me up and then get my bones out on a table and then take a look at whatever nifty stuff is in there with me. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys ever think about that?
I hear you. I don't really think about it because I don't think it's gonna matter very much.
Well, I just feel like if we're gonna say rest in peace to people, maybe we let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe let them actually rest in peace and not. I mean, I get it. Archaeology, that's great, but at what point is that desecrate? You know what I mean? When it.
I think they take very good care.
I don't want them to take care of anything. Leave me alone. Leave me in the ground.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
But
They'll
at
be
a
like,
certain point,
"Oh, you're the utmost respect." And
it's one thing if you've been dead and somebody were to dig you back up. That seems like that'd be.
If I'm alive, I want them to dig me right back up immediately.
Well, of course. But I'm saying if you were dead. But once you get to the point where you've been dead, and then your entire civilization is just gone, I don't think that there's really a point to complain about that at that point. There isn't anybody who remembers not just you, anybody like you.
I don't care. Well, it's my grave, and I've got put in there to be left alone and leave me the hell alone.
There's one solution to this, Jeffrey. It's a solution I've already decided that I'm going to do. The one solution to make sure that
pictures on the coffin that show me giving the bird and saying, don't pick me up.
That's very good and everything. But no, there's one solution, and that solution is
throwing something down the stairs loudly. Oh, that's fire. So I should set the future on fire.
No.
Oh, okay. I don't understand what you're saying.
That's not a thing.
I don't know.
Cremation.
I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that for future people to leave me the hell alone in my.
If you cremate your remains, and then they can't go through it.
What if I don't want to cremate my remains? What if I want my bones hanging out?
Somebody is going to look you up because you're an extraordinary human being, and we all know this. And the human race looks to you, Jeffrey O'Brien, for our adventures forward. So people are going to look up the grave of the great Jeffrey O'Brien.
Well, if that's the way this is going to go down, then I want to have my hands bound where my fingers are down and my middle fingers are up. So when they open open up the top of my casket, it's me giving them the bird because that's how I'll feel about being dug up. I think it's disrespectful. So then when you see these people, we found a 6,000-year-old grave. It's like, yeah, maybe leave it alone. Also, don't you watch mummy movies? Don't you watch horror movies? Hey, that's how crap gets started there. You're just looking for trouble there now. Hey, don't be digging people up. I don't want to be dug up. I mean,
you could have something else sticking straight up when they uncap you.
Depends on what's happening when I die. But yeah, 888-368-1580. Moist One says, what if bones are their money? I'll be so pissed off. I will be pissed off.
So you'll be spent?
Yeah.
See, but me and Randy, we'll be cremated, so there'll be nothing to spend of us. I mean, we'll be gone.
They'll find you, they'll snort you. Something like that's going to happen. Silly Wabbit says, Jeffrey, I don't think you have to worry because a long time into the future, I don't think any archaeologists are going to be looking for people associated with obscure sports talk shows based on text messages. I don't think so either.
But
And
you're,
the
but
people
you're
that-
surprised at the things that they do find already.
Yeah, the people they find they weren't looking for the people they find in the countryside. They just happen upon them and they go, let's find out what's up with this guy. They don't know who that is.
The reason why they know the Egyptians, were as advanced as they were in math was from how they took, some person was taking stock of how much grain they were saving. That's an incredibly boring thing that guy didn't know that anybody was going to care about his job. Then they dug him up and it turns out kind of care about his job because that means that math is real old as a concept.
Guess what? I'm not doing math. Leave me alone. Put that on my casket or my tombstones. Like, this dude didn't do math. He contributed nothing to society. There's nothing in here you're going to learn from. Nothing at all. Zero things you will learn.
That's what you need is some sign on your grave basically saying there's nothing of historical value going on here. This grave is completely worthless. Just pass on by.
Just put it on there in binary. This guy was not smart enough to know that his talk show was not popular and he kept doing it. Nobody can figure out why. Put that on there.
You know what else you could do?
What's that?
And this would be right up your alley. Have them throw your body under the casket. So when they find the casket, it'll be empty. And you can just have a note in there that says, "Ha ha, suckers."
There's a problem with that because that's how religions get started. And I don't want also
empty
to be worshipped.
Because you want to be, Lord Emperor while you're alive, not after you're dead. It doesn't do you any good.
I don't want to be the basis for another.
Someone starts O'Brienism. That's not gonna help anybody.
Feel like that's not what I want. Tihua says, "My God." Well, again, I just wanted to let you know that I didn't want. Oh, he's talking about the actual God. He says, "My God."
Yeah.
If we're not going to fire Brandon Staley, can we at least hire a defensive coordinator like Brian Ward to get that jackhole away from the defense? Also, rest in peace to Peter Seidler. Sad day for all Padres fans. Yeah, that is actually one of the things that was up on the Wheel of Sports. I'll grab that down since you did that, and we will talk about it. Died at the young age of 63. He'd had cancer in the past, and he had a recent procedure or surgery. I don't know what on, but yeah, it's very sad. He did a good job for the Padres. Got him to some playoffs and stuff like that. I don't know. The Padres they did well under Seidler, didn't they, Randy?
Yeah, they did okay. They could never seem to put together that team that was able to get over the hump. I mean, they were in the World Series a couple of times, and he was one of the instrumental pieces to start bringing in some talent to the team. But they just could never seem to. Well, like this past season, I mean, they just could never. They spent all that money, and they just couldn't seem to get over the hump. So, listen, the guy that has been an owner for a long time of the San Diego Padres has certainly died way too young. And he will be missed by the baseball community. He was a good man.
All anybody talks about is how good a man he was, how nice a guy, how kind, and how much good he did. He did great for the Padres. I mean, what? Is that what they did with Luke Perry's body? What they do? How did it? I don't want anybody eating mushrooms born out of me. That's gross. I'll pass on that. He says, well, then don't get buried in New Orleans either. Then your casket and you will be floating once the water levels rise.
Well, it is true. That's the weird thing about New Orleans.
Yeah.
All the cemeteries, they have above ground caskets. Yeah.
Yeah. I really wouldn't. I don't see that ever happening. But thanks for the tip.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss the Cook says, it's not like their graves have markers, Here lies Bob. Besides, I don't think they cared about rest in peace back then. They'd much rather throw your body off a cliff. Well, yeah, but this is now. And I don't want really to be messed with. Am I the only one? I didn't like to be touched in life. I don't want to be touched in death.
But you won't know in death.
Doesn't matter. Respect my wishes, Keon. And if I find out you're behind it.
How can I be behind it? At the point that archaeologists are digging things up, like I'm going to be gone too.
So here's what the bitch of life is, being older. So what'll happen is right when I die, they'll develop this computer system thing where you can, you may have ever seen that show on Amazon called Upload. So Keon will get his brain uploaded into the AI and he will live a massively long amount of time. and then he's going to catch wind. Hey, we found his grave. Who's that? Oh, that's that Jeffrey O'Brien guy. You're like, hey, I remember him. Definitely open that thing up.
In fact, download me from the cloud. I want to be there.
Yeah, I'll be. I just want to laugh as you open it up. I want to see if his middle fingers really are up. That'd be great. The Jet is on the text line. Says breaking news: the Jet missed the first hour, so expect the second hour to be epic. No, man, we don't operate in that kind of pressure.
We can't promise you that at all.
No promises, and you probably should go back and listen. The first hour is already up, right? So if the first hour is up, maybe you should stop listening to this, go back and listen to the first hour, and then sort of follow along behind us.
You know what I mean? Like during commercial breaks of this hour, listen to that hour, and then come back.
Just don't text in. Walter Mellon says, hey, Jeffrey, not sure how you feel about this one. It's in my wishes to be cremated and shot out of a cannon at my services. Blow up in the sky, dust in the wind. I would imagine the people who are going to be standing there coughing when your ashes hit them probably not going to dig that much.
Sort of like that whale in the first hour.
Yeah. I like it. I wanted to be put into fireworks, shot up there, and like 10 of them, because if you only put your ashes into one and it's a dud, that's a real bad statement on your life. So you fire up a bunch of fireworks. There goes all your ashes for the win. That's one of the things I want to do. Like with half of my ashes, I have all kinds of plans. I think I have more plans in death than I do in life, Randy. You can say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? I'll be like, I don't know. Hey, what are you doing when you die? Oh, have a seat. I have some things
I can talk
to tell
for a couple of hours on that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jet says, Jeffrey, as the man card commissioner, you can bet your ass that your grave's going to be robbed. Oh, Jesus.
Well, that is true.
Hadn't considered that one.
Yeah. Maybe I'll leave that part off of the headstone. Moist One says, I want to be cremated.
See,
so gross.
Nobody asked you for that, man. Nobody was talking about that.
Never seen that word separated before.
I've never seen it that way too, and I hope to never see it again.
Why?
We have a new texter on the text line. Wait, is this new? Oh, you know what? This is F the Process, but I don't think we got that name cleared. F the Process. Is that a name you think Radio Ron would go for? He's out of town right now, so I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I don't know either.
I don't think so.
So 3104, you might want to rethink your texter nickname, but 3104 suggests a Viking funeral. Again, I wasn't looking to be cremated, but then I guess I could be cremated, but I wanted some of me. I don't know. I don't even know what to think. Maybe I will get cooked, because it's just, I just don't want some alien archaeologists sitting there, because you know what happens. You know what happens. Randy, if you and I were archaeologists, okay, and hold on, and let's say we're hanging out, right? We've got this superior old dead dude, right? And he's like, hey, look, there's a sword in here, and there's a shield. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And we're like, we got to arrange all of the bones here on the table. At some point, my friend Randy would grab a couple of the ribs and start doing this.
Oh yeah.
He'd start playing a little like
drum action. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just don't want that for my ribs. That's I just saying. That's all I'm saying. So what makes you think the alien archaeologists later won't do the same thing?
I don't think they'll have drums.
You assume a lot, Randy.
Well, I think the music industry is going so electronic. I think it'll all be digital.
I think alien archaeologists will probably wail on them drums.
I don't think so.
Some epic solos that you wouldn't even expect.
Being a drummer is dying a slow, painful
That's not
death.
true. That is not true.
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie Underwear on the Sunday Night Football intro, she's there sitting there playing the drums.
Well, that's amazing. That's got to underscore what I just said, because Carrie doesn't play the drums.
No, I saw her on the TV. She does.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Underwear plays drums.
Uh-huh. And everything on the internet is factual.
And really don't understand this line of questioning. Dodger Danny says, just a shout out to Mortuary Mark at Greenwood. Funeral guy is listening to you right now. Has he heard the entire thing? Because maybe he's got some ideas. on how future archaeologists can maybe not open up a bunch of graves of people who don't want them open. That's all I'm saying. Hefty Lefty says, would F them picks be a good text or nickname? Very relevant to sports. If we can't get F the process, I don't know if we're going to get F them picks. Pretty sure that Ray Ron is probably going to say no to that.
Yeah, for the same reason. Yeah.
Moist One says, Dean Blandino says, I'm not an archaeologist, but I'd love to dig you out. All right. That'd have been creepy if Randy had done it.
Yeah. Tried to trigger the music and
did we
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Did we spin the wheel of sports yet?
No.
I feel like we should now.
All right.
Oh, this one's good news. This is good news. Dick Vitale, his cancer is gone. That is super duper good news. The 84-year-old Dick Vitale has fought off cancer, I feel like a couple of different times, or it's the same cancer. I don't know. But whatever the case is, he had vocal cord cancer, which, by the way, worst part of cancer you can have on somebody like him. And he fought it. He won. And he's ready to come back. But the sad part is the doctors are like, ooh, not yet. Keep resting them vocal cords. You're not completely healed just yet. So he's like, yeah, looking for his 45th season. He's like, you want to get out there so bad. He says, I'm jumping out of my shoes to be back in the college basketball arenas, calling the game I love, being around all of my friends. And so he says, but I got to listen to medical experts. So they've been good to him and he's going to listen. So he, I don't know, but once you're 84, there is like a thing where you're like, dude, you don't got to do anything else if you want to. You've had a great career, but then there's also, this could be the thing keeping the man moving. So everybody keep moving and stay alive. I think that's the way you do it. Find things you love to do and keep doing things. Pickle D says Dickie V is cancer free. Good for him. I know. That's what I just said. So Dick Vitale will be back as soon as his doctors let him. So excellent. 888-368-1580. Unnamed texter says, get cremated, but have them cut off your hands. Have your hands put in different poses, a la Thing from the Munsters. That might scare the hell out of some people. I don't know. You open up a casket and you see a couple of bony hands in there. I don't know if that's going to scare anybody, unless you motorize them to go.
Put some sort of light sensor on there, so as soon as they open it, it starts moving.
That'd be awesome. Silly Wabbit says, Jeffrey, I don't think you have to worry. He already read that one. He says, are you guys pandering mortuaries to gain some sponsors? We're not above it. I'll be honest. We're just not.
I don't think that's our motive right now, though.
It's
not at all.
It's not, but we're pretty shameless. So
I'm just tired of seeing stories where archaeologists are just popping open people's caskets like they have a right to. They just don't. The Jet says, you know how many people are dead in the Phoenix Cemetery? All of them? Yep, that's what he says. All of them. Thanks, Chet. Arrowhead of the class says, these hands powered by Harman Solar. So I'll need a solar powered panel on my headstone. So when they open up the fit, there's a charge. Good thinking, Arrowhead of the class. Hefty Lefty says, just give Dickie V the Stephen Hawking computer to do games. Oh, baby. Yeah, I think that would be painful, actually. No, it'd be painful. Yeah, baby, cancer free, says Stockton Slap. We love a healthy dick. Vitale. Average Joe says the new thing with pets is to have them freeze dried. You could be placed indefinitely in the studio. Freeze dried, but does that mean if somebody adds water that all of a sudden it's just something wrong? You know what I'm saying? Is that how that works?
Not sure.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we've got more wheel to turn here. We have more random sports stories to get to.
All right.
So, all right, everybody, stop slowing me down. We got to get this going so we can start talking some football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Listen, a lot of us play fantasy football this time of year, and it's fun. But what you should be playing is fantasy electric bills. What's that? It's where you get with Harman Solar, and they save you over 80% off your electric bill every month. Then, each time you open up that bill, you're going to feel like you just won a championship. Call Harman Solar today. Get a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Can I open it now? I think you've waited long enough.
Yeah, go for it, kiddo.
I already have this baseball cap.
Not this one.
Look a little closer, sweetheart. It's signed?
Yeah, buddy.
I can't believe it.
Do you still have that card all these years later? Do you have trading cards that's been sitting in a box for decades? Scottsdale Cards is who you want to call first. The Valley's card, comic book, and collectibles expert since 1989. Scottsdale Cards is your source to sell your trading cards and other collectibles, including those comic books you've been doing nothing with. We are always interested in buying your vintage sports cards and comic books, certified autographs, memorabilia, and collectibles. So what collectibles do you have stored away? They could be worth thousands. Call or text 480-419-2990. That's 480-419-2990. Or go to scottsdalecards.com. That's scottsdalecards.com. Or search Scottsdale Cards on your mobile phone today.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Do we know what the name of the tournament is that GCU is hosting?
I think it's the Arizona Cactus Tip-Off, I think.
Is that what it is? Did you just make that up?
No, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, because there's a cactus side and then there's a desert side, I think. GCU's on the cactus side. I don't think they're hosting the tournament. It's based here, but I don't think they're hosting it.
That's not happening at the GCU Arena?
No. Neutral site game, which actually, is going to help their rankings because you play at home. That's not as many points as there is in that as there is playing neutral site or on the road.
Yeah, it's like a home game because because they still home,
here, but the
Havoc will show up like crazy.
Yeah, it probably won't sound any different than a typical GCU game, but it's going to count as a neutral site game.
All right, so if GCU beats San Francisco 6:45 p.m. on Friday, then they'll play either DePaul or South Carolina on Sunday at 2:15 p.m. If they lose, then they get the consolation thing later that evening. So we would imagine GCU is going to end up playing in the championship of that little tournament.
And it's out at the Desert Diamond Arena, which is the old Cardinals home.
Out in the old Cardinals home.
Not Cardinals, Coyotes. Sorry, Coyotes.
Oh, right. Yeah, there. Didn't think they'd ever host anything again there, to be honest.
Well, not permanently.
Yeah. 888-368-1580. Average Joe says, thank you, Keon, and everyone for listening to the people and playing better music after the breaks today. You guys really care. You know, we care. We care about as much as a random generator that in the computer that decides which cut to play.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how much we care, average Joe. That's how much.
In other words, you're welcome.
Right. Hefty Lefty says GCU playing the alma mater of Bill Russell. Was that San Francisco, or do you mean South Carolina?
They're playing San Francisco, and then they'll either play DePaul, I believe, or South Carolina.
That's what I said.
The Gamecocks.
Yeah. So he's a Gamecock.
No, I don't think. I thought he went to San Francisco. Didn't
No.
he?
Okay.
No, I thought. Wait, Bill Russell. Wait, Bill Russell? Did he go to San
Yeah, he went to
Francisco?
San Francisco. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
In 1952.
So if you've been listening to the show for the last hour and a half, don't worry, we won't tell anyone. But we've been spinning the wheel of sports trying to get through this stack of random sports stories so we can move on to football. So, Randy, why don't you give that wheel a nice big spin? Give the wheel a tug.
I knew you were going to say that.
So Craig Counsell had his little press conference, and they gave him a Cubs hat and a Cubs shirt and said, here you go. Be careful with that. You only get one. And, it's a ceremonial thing that they do when they get a new manager. And he said, great to be here. He said nice things about Milwaukee. And he said, I tell you what, though, I did underestimate the emotions surrounding me leaving Milwaukee, coming to Chicago. And then from there, it sounded like he was talking about breaking up with a girlfriend. You know what I mean? That is, I guess the Brewers fans are taking this very badly, very badly. And I didn't understand why. But I guess, he's been a part of that organization for 17 years. He played there after he played for the Diamondbacks. And then when he retired in 2011, he actually worked in the front office. Then later on, he was doing radio analysis. And then, these things led to things. And he's just been a part of that organization for 17 different years. So, so I guess they are taking it personally. They are taking it personally, Randy.
Craig Counsell on the radio?
Yeah, not sure about that either.
Ooh.
They didn't say how long he did that.
Oh, let's hope not long. I mean, that's kind of like watching toast happen, And that's kind of like watching grass grow. That's kind of like watching paint dry. That's in the same category of one Steve Berthiaume.
Yeah. The most interesting thing about Craig Counsell was his batting stance. Beyond that, and he's also, I think he was a good manager for the Brewers. And I think he'll be a good manager for the Cubs.
He was a wonderful manager for the Brewers. He's a good human being. And somebody wrote ass on the Craig Counsell sign at the park sign out there.
Well,
they're so mad at him.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll cool off between now and May 3rd. That's when the Brewers play the Cubs for the first time.
Oh, no.
And if they could have cooled off if he had been the manager of the Marlins. And they're not going to cool off because it's the Cubs, and they don't like the Cubs and just don't like them.
That'll be an interesting game. I guess maybe we'll watch that.
I feel like for this upcoming season and maybe the next decade, every time Craig Counsell is seen anywhere on the field, the entire stadium will erupt in boos.
Kind of like what we've been doing to the Astros for how many years?
The Astros deserve it.
The Astros deserve it. I don't know that Craig Counsell deserves it.
No, he does not.
They probably love him if he'd been fired. But I guess he abandoned them for the Cubs. So, yeah, that's going to be a rough. You might want to take that day off, Craig Counsell. Just take the day off. Get yourself suspended right before.
just really let some poor umpire have it. He's going to toss you. The league's going to, and then really make a big deal in the press conference afterwards.
And maybe tackle the umpire. Maybe just tackle him. Take him to the ground. Take him to the ground.
You might be gone for 5 games, but you will miss the one that's going to hurt the most.
Yeah.
Hefty Lefty says, as punishment for him leaving, they're only going to serve him Milwaukee's best light when they visit the Brewers next season. I feel like it's going to be worse than that, Hefty. Moiswin says, Cubs' job was his dream job. Can't fault him. Cubs fans take over Milwaukee when they go there, so actually he won't have to worry. It's a good point, Moiswin. That is a good point. Randy, spin the wheel. Let's see what we get next year. Yes. So, Keon, when you told me that your basketball team, the Washington Wizards, or what are they now? Is it the Washington Wizards?
It is still the Wizards, yeah.
It was funny. I didn't believe you, but now I do believe you.
Oh, man.
I have posted video evidence of Keon Rose being 100% right on the Twitters. You find this at RadioPal1580. Scroll past the funny LeBron James getting handed a broom after he got swept thing. I just can't seem to take it down.
Yeah, no, it's worth being up there.
And right under today's posting of the YouTube video, you'll see where I post up two different videos. First one, the first thing that happens was Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole on Sunday, they call a timeout, and he just is not even paying attention. He's just sort of just standing there talking to some guy next to him, and just completely checked out. And the head coach was sitting there going, "Okay, here's the play. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. All right, there you go." And then so Jordan Poole just like talking, and then at one point, I think he says, "It's my effing team. I know what to do." That's what at least I saw somebody said. And then everybody starts going off, and he's standing there, and he's like, "Oh God, I don't know what the play is." And he's like sitting there looking, trying to see the whiteboard, like, what's the play? Just one of the dumbest things you're going to see, right? So that was fine. By itself, fantastic. Just a good explanation of what Keon has been telling us about the Wizards and Jordan Poole. Well, Kyle Kuzma said, hold my beer, because on Monday, they're playing there against the Raptors. And so this is like 5 minutes towards the end of the game. They're up 107-97. Ball goes out of bounds. An official says, it's off the Wizards. All right, let's go. And they gave the ball to the Raptors underneath the Washington basket. Kuzma, during the time this is happening, runs towards the Wizards bench, says, hey, you got to challenge this. You got to challenge this. And while he's just standing down there arguing, they're like, get back, go back. He's like, no, you got to challenge it. In the time that happened, the Raptors are like, I think in hockey, this is called a power play. I believe it is.
It's a 5-on-4.
So they inbounded the ball and got it over to Scotty Barnes. Easy layup. Why? Because Kuzma was still down there saying, well, you got to challenge this. You got to challenge this. So the power play worked. And then to make things worse, the Washington never scored again. Their final three plays, just horrific. And I believe you lost that game, Keith.
They did lose that game.
111-107.
The humor, to me, this is the funniest team in basketball. This team has made me happier now that they suck this bad than at any other point in their existence. So the other thing that happened was Kyle Kuzma was right. The head coach probably should have challenged that call. He probably would have gotten it. But Kuzma went about it the wrong way and cost the team. They were up by 10 when that happened. That was actually 13 points into them blowing a 23-point lead that they actually had in that game before falling to pieces at the very, very end because they're bad. Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole should never be on the same team together. They are a bad influence on each other. And I was wondering why the Warriors would trade for a 95-year-old Chris Paul. And the answer is losing Jordan Poole just wasn't that big of a loss. Now that we see the true colors of Jordan Poole, like Jordan Poole was playing in a structured system with obvious team leaders like Draymond Green and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and still couldn't keep his ego in check there. Now there's nobody to tell Jordan Poole no, and he is the worst version of himself, which just leads to me. It's just laughter every night. Like I can't miss TV at this point watching the Wizards play because Jordan Poole every night does a new dumb thing. It's amazing.
So here's what I want you to do. On my Twitter post at RadioPal1580, I posted the video of the Jordan Poole thing. I posted the video of the Kyle Kuzma thing. Could you post the video there for me where they do this backboard alley-oop and they're like, yeah, and they're like down by 20?
Yeah. Jordan Poole to Kyle Kuzma off the backboard against the Hawks to cut the lead to 19.
Yeah. Could you please
in the fourth quarter? In the fourth quarter, the game was Not just out of reach, it was out of reach late. So they weren't going to come back again.
You have to finish the trilogy if you could, please. Put that on
I
there,
will
please.
do that. I'll add that to the Jordan Poole shooting a three and then turning his back to the basket like Steph, but he missed the three.
Yes.
But he missed the three.
That one too, yes.
Mhm.
Please.
Yes.
Hefty Lefty says his brain was on cruise control. Wait, we're going to talk about this. I normally feel like that might be a 2-minute penalty.
But when you
But it tracks, actually. I think.
in the context of talking about this team, it works.
What do you say, Randy? I think we allow it. I think
Yeah, we'll allow it that time. Yeah.
All right. And Moist one. Oh, no. There's probably a picture of something. I shouldn't even click on this.
I wouldn't.
Oh, here it is. He says, I'm literally staring at the worst bad beat of my life. I played the Wizards total over 109.5. And it's in the fourth quarter. And it says Washington 106, Toronto 90.
Don't play the Wizards in anything. I don't remember if it was against the spread that came in and said, hey, for no reason should you pick the Bears. The Wizards are the Bears in the NBA. Don't pick them for any reason. They are
no reason.
They are bad, and you cannot trust them. Just don't pick them to take an over. Don't touch it. I promise you. I've watched all 10 of their games. It's not good.
Hefty Lefty says, when Kuz has been on your team in the past, I understand the pain of Wizards fans. Lost Toby, clearly watching us on the YouTube TV, says, back scratcher. Yeah, Randy's got himself a very nice back scratcher. Which
Back scratcher. Get your back scratchers here.
Uses on occasion there.
Keep thinking I got to get one of those.
I don't have a back scratcher.
Well, you guys haven't seen my good one that I keep out there in the family room.
Is that the
I'll bring
metal
that in.
telescopic one?
No, I have one of those too. But no, this is the most epic back scratcher of all time. I'll bring it in. I'll bring it in after the next break.
All right. My wife is my back scratcher. Yeah, and we're like, right there, right there, right there. No, not there. Over there. No, not there. No, you're completely missing it. Not there.
Yeah.
And so I probably could use a back scratcher. I'm surprised she hasn't got me one yet. Fish Tank says, just getting home, fellas. Great week. Well, it's Tuesday. So,
so far.
He says, no, if you're an AFC playoff hopeful, almost all the biggest teams lost. Baltimore, Jacksonville, Bengals, Bills. Love to see that on a Dolphins bye week. Fish Tank is loving life right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves it. If you're a Dolphins fan, after everything you've seen, have fun, man.
Good for you, Fish Tank. The Jet says, see, I told you the second hour would be epic. Randy just confirmed it. Because of the back scratcher? I love the Jet and how low his standards are.
All right.
If only more people listening could see it the same way. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Oh, this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
All right, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Today, we're going to talk about higher education and student loans. First and foremost, we're going to return all student loans to bankruptability status like they were in the very beginning. No special test, just very simple bankruptcy. Folks, college is not needed by everybody. We need apprenticeships, we need trade schools, we need vocational schools. We are going to cap tuition increases to the Consumer Price Index. We're going to propose that we hold back 25% of all loan proceeds to the institutions for a period of 5 years to make sure the student is gainfully employed in using that education. Folks, as you know, I've earned 3 law degrees from top universities. I've attended 5 universities in all. I've taught at several others. Most education today is rubbish. You know, it was the student loan servicers that created all of the problems in the first place by trying to game the system to line their pockets. Go to my website, robertquigleyforpresident.com. Donate what you can. Together, we'll make America work for everybody.
Paid for and approved by Robert Quigley for president.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365. 65, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Save on stuff you really need and stuff you bought for fun. Stuff you've always really wanted this holiday at Amazon. Stuff that is discounted if you're naughty or you're nice. Stuff to buy your grandma who drinks her Chardonnay with ice. Stuff to make you big and strong. Stuff we can't name in this song. Stuff for lawns and decking halls. Save big on stuff at Amazon. Stop.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Arizona's new home for sports.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Razor Sharp says 72 Lions, baby. Hello, Razor Sharp. Last time he texted in, 5-1 Lions, baby. So once a month, we're going to hear from Razor Sharp, I guess, on the current standings of the Lions.
So I went into the other room at the break here, and I brought in my standard back scratch. Okay, this is the one that you've seen.
Yeah, a little wooden one there. Yeah,
you've seen this one right here, and it's it's adequate for the radio program.
It is fine. It is a fine wooden back scratcher. Not bad.
And at the office there, I have one that is it's a telescoping metal one.
Yeah,
got like a bear claw, like okay, that's good. But this is the king of all back scratchers. Right here. So there you go, guys. It.
Randy, I gotta tell you, that's a rake.
Oh no! That is the king of all back scratchers.
That's a small rake, Randy.
Oh no! You haven't lived.
Did you use that to get the poop out of the kitty litter box?
No. Miss Kim bought this. This is the king of all back scratchers, and I implore you all. It looks you should get one. Oh my God!
Did she buy that back when she had a cat?
No. Oh no. No, this was a Christmas present for me one year.
That's a rake.
And this is it is a back scratcher. It is as a matter of fact, since you have trouble getting your back scratched, I will get you one. And I will make sure that you have the king of all back scratchers right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a rake, so that's thank you. That's nice.
This is not a rake. This is plastic. The tines are not like sharp. They're kind of no. I'm telling
leaves for leaves.
Okay, all right.
Or poop in a litter box.
I don't care what it is. That thing looks awesome.
Yeah. This is the world's greatest back scratcher.
I mean,
world's greatest.
Just another face in the crowd says, "I got a whole ton of house back scratchers." You know, that's why God invented a corner. No, I do the bear up against the tree thing. I do that quite a bit.
But you know, like Randy right now, sitting down doing a radio show. Guess what you can't use when your back itches in that moment? A corner of your house. So you got a back scratcher. You just
and I got the psoriasis. So when it gets on the back, oh my God, there's just no relief whatsoever. So you get one of those babies going, and it's lights out right there.
So psoriasis is itchy.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't know these things.
Yeah, I have all these lotions and potions around here. I've been on everything, and oh my God, yeah.
Well, I get you. I get it. So she caught you with the lotion, and you're like, I got psoriasis, and you've had to work that ever since. I get it. Gotcha. Understood. Say no more.
I don't know about you, but for 30, 40 years now, I haven't needed any lotion. I mean, just saying.
So you're oily, are you? All right. 888-368-1580. Screaming Eagle says, hey guys, just left work. I'm a Broncos fan and I can't believe they won last night. Yeah, we can't either. That's why we're not talking about it. I mean, we're going to talk about it, but we're probably in the next hour. In the next hour, we'll talk about Thursday night football and we'll talk about NFL stuff. But yeah, not really sure what to make of this. But spoiler alert, I'm probably not going to tell you that Russell Wilson is back. Probably not going to happen. Noise One says, yeah, a corner of a textured wall also makes for a wonderful back scratcher. Textured, you mean like stucco, like you're outside? Pickle D says, ever got your ass whooped with a wooden back scratcher? Some wooden spoons in the past.
Yeah, never a back scratcher.
It wouldn't shock me.
My mom used a paddle till it broke, and then she didn't have anything. So my dad had like a leather belt that he used, and it was one of those old style leather belts that don't ever come apart, ever, never.
Mm-hmm. And if it did, they just go buy a new one.
My mom got creative, so maybe a back scratcher. Who could say?
Yeah, some moms were creative, like Keon saying, and anything.
Yeah,
can become
whatever was
a
near
weapon.
her hand, really.
Shoes.
Yeah, whatever's within reach. Yeah.
Lost Toby says, how far did Randy go there with that back scratcher? His eyes lit up and he had the biggest smile. Slim Pickens Hat says, watch the Family Guy butt scratcher clip. Okay.
Get your butt scratchers hip.
Just another face in the crowd says, oh, the heartbreak of psoriasis.
Yes.
Is that what it's itchy? Or is it?
Oh my God.
Does it hurt?
Sometimes. Yeah.
I don't know much about it. I've seen a lot of commercials.
Then you get that psoriatic arthritis. That's even worse. Yeah, that's bad too.
Flappy Mac says stucco wall corner. Yeah, go to every day. Of all the things people getting hyped up about on the text line, I just would not have expected stucco wall corner to be one of them.
Yeah, see, the problem is when you're driving down the road at 65 or, within, reason, whatever, there's no stucco wall corner,
Yeah.
But you come out with something like this and it's on like Donkey Kong there. I mean, wow.
Mm-hmm. And if you ever have a small yard of leaves,
no,
that'll work.
No.
Cardinal Art says nothing like that good old peach tree switch, or her back of the hand. Mm-hmm.
Whatever works.
Skepka says wooden cutting board for old Brooksy over here.
Oh man,
damn!
See, we had that in my house, a cutting board that actually broke, and it was just the handle in the middle part. Oh, it was perfecto.
My mom had a paddle, and statute of limitations is up on this, so she can't get mad about it now. Me and my brother had a whole Mission Impossible style thing where we got into her room, found where she had the thing hidden, snuck that thing out to the garbage on trash day.
Mm-hmm.
Then she was like, where's the paddle? No idea. I don't know what you're talking about. We played dumb. She knew we did something to it, but she couldn't prove it. And sure, she may have found other things to work with, but nothing was as effective as that paddle.
Really?
That's
the only success story like that I've ever heard.
That is the smartest move that we've ever done.
See, I got to tell you, that wouldn't work in my house because I'd line them all up. Where's the paddle? And they'd all go, oh, I don't know. Okay. And you guys stay right here. I'd run over to the hardware store, get another cutting board, bring it home, saw off the sides right there in front of them and say, guess what? There's a whole lot more where that came from.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't win.
It's not like she couldn't have turned to one of my dad's million belts. So,
you should be lucky she didn't.
I do feel lucky because that was his go-to.
Let me just say, the way the wooden spoon gets broken or the paddle or whatever, the reason usually is, well, let me just give you the advice. Don't start laughing. While you're getting your ass whooped, don't start laughing because then that's like, oh, really? And then just mom blacks out and...
So what you're saying, I wasn't just getting my hips into that. All right, let's see if we can get a nice full body rotation into beating your ass.
This is when mom takes a running start now. That's all you need.
I don't know, but It never got any laughs from my kids when I was dealing out the
I
discipline.
somehow believe you entirely.
Just never got anybody laughing at me.
Well, my mom, she chased me across the house, and if my dad wasn't home, it was a game to me. I'm like Bebo. I'm like the puppy Bebo.
Yeah.
And I remember that she's running, and then I just knew that if she cracked a smile herself, that I'd survive. And the old man, she gave a good chase. And when I had her kind of up in the air, like I was on my back, and she was coming at me, but she tried to tackle me. So then I basically have her up in the air, and I'm like, do the airplane. And my mom, she's like, yeah, okay. She threw her arms out like that. And then she's laughing, and I didn't get whooped. So that worked. That never worked again. The next time I tried that, she just took that opportunity when I was like, oh, okay. That's not gonna work this time.
That's a one use only.
Mm-hmm. Hefty Lefty says statutes of limitations. Hell, Keon, you're only getting the gizzard this year for Thanksgiving now.
I am not going back home for Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping
She'll
that by
mail it to
next
you.
Thanksgiving, she won't remember.
Hefty Lefty, thank you. Cardinal Art says the old lady brush works pretty well, on the old scratch in the back. Keon, I hope mom's not listening right now, because she's gonna whoop your ass. Pour me up one, Randy.
I mean, she's on the East Coast. Like I'm hoping that there's a series of inconveniences that are going to stop that from happening.
Does she listen often? I don't think she does.
Not often, but every now and then
I've taken care of that a long time ago.
She'll say something, and I'll go, oh, I didn't tell you that. You you were listening to the show.
Noted.
No, if my mom were to find out that I drink as much as I do, she'd be very sad. Yeah.
Why would you say that on the air right when the moment you're worried about whether she's listening
because
or not?
I happen to know that she's at work right now.
Well, yeah, there's no way she'd be listening at work.
No, she's a nurse. No, really, she can't.
Pickle D says, reminds me of getting paddled in elementary school right there. Hefty Lefty, thank you for that. And do we have time to spin the wheel one more time?
Yeah.
Let's spin the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. So you like the Fruity Pebbles?
Love the Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, I like
the Fruity Pebbles. So that's one thing LeBron James and I will have in common. But Lamar James, he sent a package to Jamar Chase, Kyler Murray, and some other guys. Fruity Pebble LeBron James shoes. So about that. So as a cereal, I'm all for it. As a shoe, yeah, are you digging that look? The Fruity Pebble design on the side?
I like it. I mean, it's insane, but I'm pretty sure that's the point.
No.
I'm just not sure I like it as a shoe. I mean,
no.
Does that match anything, or does that match everything?
It matches everything.
No.
But also, it's ridiculous.
You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those things where you try to say, if you're not colorblind, you see the number on the inside of the design. That's what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, of course, don't have the YouTube feed. You're not watching us. Look up LeBron James Fruity Pebbles shoes.
It's just a whole swath of the shoe that is basically just a close-up picture of Fruity Pebbles.
Now, if they inverted the pebbles in the white, then it might be cool.
Okay, hold on. You mean like that? That's
well,
inverted.
maybe. Yeah.
See, that's inverted.
If the Fruity Pebbles were where
Fruity
the white
Pebbles
was,
up here and white down here,
and less white and more fruity, because then it's like the milk. It's Fruity Pebbles in the milk. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see that.
That gives you
something
idea.
along those lines there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I would wear the shoe, but listen, I'll have breakfast with LeBron James any day if he's eating Fruity Pebbles. You know what I mean? Just me. You guys don't have breakfast?
I was coughing.
I didn't say we're gonna have like a long night of sex before it. I just said I'd show up for breakfast. Like ding dong, come on in, and I'd just be like, all right, where are them Fruity Pebbles you promised me? You know.
I don't
I'm
think
saying I'm going to bang LeBron James.
No one was
wake up
insinuating that. But
it seems like you guys were just uncomfortable. Like I just spent the
No.
night with LeBron James to get his Fruity Pebbles.
I turned my mic off so I could cough. I think you can afford Fruity Pebbles on your own.
I had to think for a few moments. Do I really want to have breakfast with LeBron James?
I'll have listen because he's eating, less talking. I'd be good. That'd be good.
He seems to be one of those guys who would fill up his mouth with the cereal and start talking.
The milk would drip down.
Maybe like pieces coming out.
Get in his
talking.
beard. He'll have pieces of Fruity Pebbles in his beard.
See what I mean?
He'll say, "Do I have anything in my beard?" I'll be like, "No."
I mean, I'd want to talk basketball with LeBron, so I can't see why that wouldn't work.
What are you going to say to LeBron? What makes you think you can talk on his level about basketball?
It wouldn't be on his level, but just to pick his brain about stuff. I don't know.
You're a very smart guy when it comes to basketball, but
LeBron James is on a massively different level than me because he is the second greatest basketball player of all time.
I feel like all you have to do is tell him that over and over, and you'll have a very nice breakfast. Say anything contrary, and then you're gonna be out in the street, and you'll be like, "Can I take the Fruity Pebble?" No, I can't. Okay. After he left, he says Jeter gave out gift baskets. LeBron gives out Fruity Pebbles. So these are like $150, $200 shoes, though. Moislin says, looks pretty dang. Walter Mellon says, wait, these guys are sending their shoes to the other ball players again to wear them? Yeah, this sounds like the GOAT, doesn't it? All right, guys, that's 2 hours down and 1 to go. It's Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This holiday, the Home Depot is helping you get gifts that keep on giving by making sure they keep on going. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from Ryobi, Milwaukee, Rigid, DeWalt, or Makita, you get an eligible tool for free. Just pick a brand, pick a battery kit, and get a tool free. Give the gift of more doing this holiday with the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid at participating stores and online. 1 per transaction. Discount taken at checkout. Full eligible tool list in store and online. Valid October 23rd, 2023 through January 28th, 2024.
Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium to take on the Oregon Ducks Saturday, November 18th for the Salute to Service game. Forgay will throw for that far corner. Caught for a touchdown! Get your ASU Oregon tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Gadaboo with the catch, has the first down, stays on his feet, and he's going to go to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Devils!
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Greg Clark Automotive Specialist, located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue, servicing Valley automobiles for 44 years. And we're offering our fall inspection on the belts, water pump, radiator, and hoses. Also, our brake service inspection, recommended every year to prevent repairs and ensure top performance. For guaranteed family touch service, contact us at 602-246-2881. Highly rated by Google. Online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention the Fanatic to get 10% off.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit TalkNowAZ.com because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at TalkNowAZ.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. This is KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
time. Well, for a bunch of people, not us. Boy, I never saw two guys get so excited right there when I said that. Both Keon and Randy went, oh, nope, not for us. Just in general, 5 o'clock used to be the quitting time. I feel like that's not the case anymore. When is quitting time now? What is the average quitting time? Is it 3? Is it 4?
I think it depends on what kind of shift you have.
I mean, people used to work 9 to 5. So I don't know now. Is it 8 to 4? Is it 7 to 3? So, I know what we do, but that's not the same as what other people do. So I'm not sure. When are people getting off work on average? I wonder if we should put a poll up or something. What time do you get off work? Or do you think they'll think we're hitting on them? Hey, what time do you get off work? Who wants
Did it
to
hurt
know?
when you fell from heaven?
Yeah, maybe we won't do that. Maybe that's a bad idea. Let's talk about Monday Night Football. We've been on the air for 2 hours and have not yet done that. So now is the moment. Hefty Lefty couldn't be happier, I'm sure. The Broncos beat the Bills 24-22. Can I just say at some point during the game, the score was 15-15, and I have no idea how that happened. How did they get to 15-15? I felt like that was because I went away for a little bit because it was Broncos, right? And Bills. And I came back like, what? How is this 15-15? What happens? Do you get that score? Because it's 7 points on a touchdown, or did they both have a touchdown, and then they both had a touchdown with a 2-point conversion?
Yeah. So the Broncos started with a field goal, scored a touchdown, but then I believe they did not get the extra point. Kicked a couple more field goals, that got them to 15. The Bills scored a touchdown, went for 2, and then scored another touchdown and got the extra point. That's how they got to 15.
So they did it in different ways, but ended up with a 15-15 tie for a second. Okay, that makes some sense. That makes sense. So the Bills, they got a more conventional way because, as you know, they're not good at counting. Counting is not the strong point of the Bills. Because how else you end up with 12 guys on the field and you blow the play where the kicker misses the field goal and you gave him another chance, I believe, from even closer up, right? That was like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, that entire what the hell? First off, let me just stop and say it was nice to see Damar Hamlin out there in the fourth quarter make his first tackle since he's been back as a football player after dying on the field and being brought back to life. But so that was cool to see him out there and get himself. And I saw it happen. I'm like, dude, that was Damar Hamlin. Good for him. That's awesome. But back to the game. Whoa, what? How? No, don't tell me Russell Wilson's back. I feel like it's more that Madden curse victim Josh Allen had a bad night. What's going on with the Bills? How does this even happen?
Well, what's going on with the Bills is that I think that every Super Bowl contending team has at least one fatal flaw. And the thing that's going to make the Bills Super Bowl contenders is Josh Allen. However, their fatal flaw is also Josh Allen. And he's been careless.
Is it a Madden curse?
I don't know if it's a Madden curse because this is something that he's struggled with his whole career.
So it's a careless curse.
Yeah. And I think that in the past, they've had a good enough defense to back him up. And he's been able to go on stretches where he's been really good, where he's been consistent, where he has taken care of the football. But this year, it's been really up and down. And if you look at the 5 wins that they have, they're almost all because he was great. And if you look at the 5 losses, not all of them, but a good chunk of them because he was just awful. And they kind of live and die on how Josh Allen plays.
Arrowhead of the Clash says 13 seconds minus 12 men on the field equals 1 dumb way to lose a game. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You are not wrong.
And he's a teacher. He should know.
Choro's got math. He says Josh Allen equals Cam Newton. Can't go that. I can't go that far.
Can't go that far, but at the same time, their careers are kind of similar. Okay, just saying. The early Cam Newton was running more than he was throwing, And then he had a year where he put it all together. They went to the Super Bowl. He hurts his shoulder and he never quite makes it back to old Cam Newton ever again. Josh Allen, as long as he's healthy, is not going to be that.
Right.
But in terms of, there are going to be ups and downs to his game, and there are going to be points where he's just not accurate, and there are going to be times where, yeah, he gets that gunslinger mentality, or he thinks he can run through everybody like Anthony Richardson sometimes thinks he can. Like, it's just, Josh Allen has been in the league 6 years. He is too experienced to make some of the mistakes that he makes.
So, yeah, 3 turnovers of their 4 turnovers yesterday. I guess there was 2 interceptions. One was a fumble. But, yeah, I mean, Broncos aren't good. It's just the Bills were really bad last night. I mean, does that track?
Yeah, the Bills are really bad. I do think that the Broncos defense does get some credit for playing better the last 3 to 4 weeks. They've looked more like the defense we thought they would be.
Won 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, and part of that is that defense has played so much better. This is the best Russell Wilson game we've gotten, but it hasn't been him through the 3 games that they've won. I give credit to that defense. And then when you play a really good defense, and for Buffalo's offense to play a really erratic game like that, that's not a good combination, and you're going to lose most of those.
Lost Toby says Josh Allen is Kirk Cousins.
I don't know that he's Kirk Cousins.
No.
Because Josh Allen has had some big time moments and big time games and all of that. And I don't think that Josh Allen is like Kirk Cousins is the guy that if you surround him with talent, that's the best version of Kirk Cousins. Is he can absolutely manage a team. When you have Josh Allen can win you games you have no business winning. It's just right now he's also capable of losing you games you have no business losing.
Hefty Lefty says Russ isn't back, but he was really efficient last night and isn't losing them the game like he did a lot last year and the first 5 games of this year.
The first 5 games of this year, I think Russell Wilson kept trying to act like he was prime Russell Wilson. And he's playing a little bit more carefully the last couple of weeks, where he's playing in a way where he is aware that he's supposed to probably just manage this thing a whole lot more. Don't give the game away. And the result is that defense is good enough, and they do have enough playmakers around him that they can win some of these games if they're going to be in the low 20s. Oh, the Broncos are right there.
So Sean McDermott afterwards says substitution penalty was inexcusable. So, of course, they fired Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, because that was his wait.
No, it's not. It's
Whose
just
job was that?
It's I mean, the head coach is I don't say responsible, but the
special teams guy.
The discipline of your team is kind of built around that. But I don't think they fired Ken Dorsey for that.
Well, no, because he's not the special teams guy. Why didn't they fire the special teams guy? Who's in charge of special teams for the Buffalo Bills? Because maybe if it's Sean McDermott,
it's not. It's Matthew Smiley.
Oh, you can't fire him, Smiley. By the name, you just can't go like you're fired, Smiley, because it just feels wrong.
But I think that the Ken Dorsey thing, when you look at the numbers for the Bills score a lot of touchdowns, or they don't even get in field goal range at all, and that's a problem. They're not. It's either we have a big time play that gets us all the way to the end zone, or we're not scoring, not even 3.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
I feel like they had to make a move. They had to do something to try to fix this offense, and moving out the offensive coordinator and making a change there was the only thing they could do to show that they're trying to fix this thing while there's still a couple of wheels left on it. Because after last night's game, Buffalo did not look like a contending team at all.
Was it the play call, or was it? It feels like it wasn't the play call as much as it was Josh Allen.
I don't know.
And the Broncos defense.
Well, a Broncos defense, I would give them an A- last night. I think they've been playing better, not an A+, but they're playing better. I think the offense gave up some turnovers that they shouldn't have. I mean, the running back, I forget his name, number 4. He just keeps dropping the ball. I mean, first play of the game, and he has the ball ripped away from him instead of protecting the ball. Then later in the game, as he breaks away through the line, he gets into the secondary and he drops the ball. I mean, you can't do that. And I think those are some of the things that need to be fixed for this the Bills offense. They need to fix it. They also, like Keon says, get into a scoring range, make sure that it's it's something that the team can keep scoring and moving forward like they did the first part of the season. It's just broken down the last several weeks for the Bills.
888-368-1580. Choro says James Cook. Okay. What about James Cook? Choro. By the way, Choro, look at you. Look at you in first place in the picks contest right now.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Lost Toby says.
Oh, Randy said who's number 4.
Oh, I see.
James Cook. James Cook?
Yeah.
You'll see in about 5 years, says Lost Toby. If I'm still alive. Okay. Just another face in the crowd says, I imagine it's a safe bet that a vast majority of NFL players weren't math majors, hence getting nailed for 12 men on the field.
Yeah, they weren't math majors, but you're asking them to count. And somebody's got to catch that. The players may not always catch it because you're on the field, and then you don't always know who's to your left and to your right and who's behind you. But the coaches are outside looking in.
That kind of detail, that kind of counting who's on the field and who's not on the field, that kind of detail. You can't tell me there's not somebody on the sideline for the Buffalo Bills that isn't responsible for counting how many people are on the field for their personnel group.
Yeah, that's just inexcusable in the NFL. The coach is right, but I think they fired the wrong guy. Just another face in the crowd says, I told you to bet on the Broncos, Keon.
You did say that, yeah. Yeah.
Choro says,
missed that opportunity.
First place. Woo! I think he already knew that, though. So, all right. So last night, did you guys watch the Manning cast, or did you watch the actual game with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman?
I watched the actual game, but I was actually at the gym, so I didn't hear them.
Well, Patrick Mahomes was on the Manning cast, and he complained about something I found very interesting. Something Tom Brady complained about for a moment. And I just got to think, okay, I understand the concept, but also guy running at you, don't matter what position he plays, that guy's a problem. But he was talking about how in 2021, the NFL loosened up the rules on the number system on what positions could be what numbers. And so Tom Brady complained about it, and Patrick Mahomes says, yeah, it's crazy now because everybody can wear single digits. We actually go in every week and we really emphasize the numbers because when you got a number like number 7 playing middle linebacker, that can mess with your tells, or for the O lineman. It looks cool, I'll give you that, but it makes it a little more difficult for the quarterback. I understand what you're saying.
That's a real thing.
But
So
where
what
a
are
guy is standing is relevant to what that position is. So it shouldn't make that much of a difference. So now you're saying 7
Well,
instead of
yeah,
a different
because
number.
if I'm a defensive coordinator, I love this because now you're saying where a guy is standing is relative to what that position is. But what if I take 7 and I put him up on the defensive line and then drop him back into coverage later, or just bring him as an extra rusher, or
you just
bring him in as a stunt,
as a body.
That's the thing is when it comes to some of the ways that defensive coordinators are going to set up their schemes, they are trying to make their defense as absolutely hard to read as it possibly can. So judging from the body is not going to tell you everything. It's going to tell you some stuff. It's not useless. But when you also had the body and the number, that also told you, okay, I know what that guy's responsibilities are based on his number, and you can read that right away. Because of course, if you've got a play clock counting down behind you, and you've got to snap the ball soon, and you're trying to diagnose what the defense is doing, if they're bringing pressure, where from, how, any little extra piece of information helps you. You take those numbers away, that's just another piece of information you now don't have.
Well, he says, you get these guys who rotate in. You'll get a DB who's in the 40s and then a linebacker in single digits. Having to recognize that quickly is difficult. So, all right. Well, you know what?
That's why they complained about it. I mean,
figure it out.
If Patrick Mahomes, who is the best quarterback in the league now, and Tom Brady, who was the best quarterback in the league at the time, both are saying it, there's got to be something there to it besides just. I mean, I think they are going to figure it out, but I think there is something to what those guys are saying, because it's not just anybody saying it. It's the two best ones.
Mr. Pringle says Keon's full of bleep meter is broken.
I don't know what that means, but
I don't know either. Choro says that Vance Joseph cover where the DBs rushed and the linemen dropped into coverage was awesome. Talk about a mind scramble. Brooks Koepka says they should allow triple digits next year, like 783.
It just I can't even imagine.
Ketchup would come out of poor Patrick Mahomes' ears. Cardinal Art says Josh Allen is Kevin Kolb mixed with too much Madden curse. That's what he is.
I really don't think he's anything like Kevin Kolb. I really don't.
888-368-1580. The other thing that Patrick Mahomes said, which, listen, I'm not judging. Long as you wash them, I don't care. But Patrick Mahomes said last night that he has worn the same pair of underwear for every game of his NFL career. How many years has he been in? 5? 6? How many years has Patrick Mahomes been in? Now, I'm saying he washes them, but then he said, I don't know if he was joking or not, he says he might not wash them if they're on a hot streak. Them drawers have got to be beat up by now.
Is this really a thing?
This is really a thing.
Hmm.
He has worn the same pair of red underwear every game. Now, Eli was trying to ask him if it was a thong, if it was boxers, what it was, but I don't think Patrick ever answered that question.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's been in the league 7 years, so that's
7-year-old underwear. Now, I've got underwear maybe even older, but it is not without holes in the crotchal area.
It's just underwear is just not that expensive. If I see even one hole in it,
his wife gave them to him, and they're good luck charm, Keon.
Look, I'm not going to judge. Wear what you want to wear. I'm just telling you that for me and my underwear, the moment you start to go, you are gone. I'm like Bill Belichick that way. You get out of here.
Chief Skull says, "Wah, Patrick Mahomes. Who cares? Singular, double-digit numbers doesn't matter."
I mean, it's the thing is, if Tom Brady says it's an issue and Patrick Mahomes says it's an issue, I'm inclined to believe it's an issue for everybody in the league, not just those two guys, because they know football and they know better than anybody how to manipulate a defense. And if they think it's an issue, it's an issue.
Bala 51 says, I wonder if they broadcasted just the video feed with the on field guys say like third down, just the guy who announces there, zero talking heads by itself on its own channel. So all you see is the game. Nobody's talking. You hear the announcer or the PA guy, but nothing else. He says, would it get higher ratings than the normal broadcast? Here's the thing. You can watch a game like that, but I think there is useful information that the play-by-play guys give you, and also context to things you might see on the screen that if you didn't have the audio, you'd be like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, have you ever been at a game and then had an official throw a flag and then pick it back up, but because you're just a person in the stadium, you have no idea what the hell just happened? And they don't have to explain it because they pick the flag back up. Wouldn't you like to know?
now that's a small issue. I think I'd like to try it, Battle of 51. You got your surround sound, you got nothing but the sounds of the game, and you feel like you're actually there and you're watching, and you do get some information from the PA guy, like our pal Jim Barnett just gets up there and talks and says what's happening. I feel like, yeah, I'd like to see. I would like to see. I don't know that it would. I think people might want to hear the play-by-play guys giving them that extra bits of information that maybe they don't know or wouldn't get otherwise. But I think it's worth it. I'd like to see that. Wouldn't you? I mean, why don't they try that? Because how much money would they save if they didn't have play-by-play guys?
I think they've done that before.
What happened? What was it? Just people were too freaked out by it? It was too quiet?
I think it was just too quiet. People couldn't get into it. I mean, there they are at home, and there's no talking going on, and it's just the sounds of the stadium and the game.
And I remember being a kid and like learning the game through hearing John Madden talk about things that when at that age I didn't understand. To take that away fully would just be ridiculous to me, to save money, because how are people who maybe kind of like it and want to get into it, how are they supposed to learn if there's nobody telling them what's happening.
Bala 51 says they talk too much these days and it's annoying. Silver
They've
Pops,
always talked this much. I don't think that's new.
Silver Pop says, good afternoon, guys. One word, banana hammock. No, wait, that's two. Chief Skull says Tom Brady didn't want to get hit either. It's a big baby issue. Figure it out. Like, you have to figure out defensive schemes, man.
It's not about getting hit, because also if a guy drops back into coverage whose number does not usually correspond with people who drop back into coverage, that's an interception you could throw based on a tell you thought you had that you didn't actually have.
Choro says, I like the expanded view from Amazon Prime Vision. Let's make that a thing. What's he talking about? I got Amazon Prime, but I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. I'm going to
take Prime Vision.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, tell us what that is, Choro, because if that's a similar thing, I'd give it a shot on Thursday. Bala 51 says, again, it would be an option. He says soccer does it. It's awesome. I don't know how you tell anything's awesome with soccer, to be honest. All right, listen, let's take a break. Choro, you explain that expanded view thing from Amazon. I'm listening. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
The latest odds for the Heisman Trophy Award, Oregon quarterback Bo Nix is now the betting favorite. He's minus 110 to capture the honor. Michael Penix Jr., also in the Pac-12, quarterback in Washington, is at plus 370. Jaden Daniels, who threw for over 600 yards in LSU's victory over the Florida Gators, he is also plus 370 to win the Heisman. Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., plus 600. Carson Beck, the quarterback at the University of Georgia, plus 3,500. Alabama's Jalen Milroe, plus 5,000. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Can I open it now?
I think you've waited long enough.
Yeah, go for it, kiddo.
I already have this baseball cap.
And not this one.
Look a little closer, sweetheart.
It's signed?
Yeah, buddy.
I can't believe it.
Do you still have that card all these years later? Do you have trading cards that's been sitting in a box for decades? Scottsdale Cards is who you want to call first. The Valley's card, comic book, and collectibles expert since 1989. Scottsdale Cards is your source to sell your trading cards and other collectibles, including those comic books you've been doing nothing with. We are always interested in buying your vintage sports cards and comic books, certified autographs, memorabilia, and collectibles. So what collectibles do you have stored away? They could be worth thousands. Call or text 480-419-2990. That's 480-419-2990. Or go to ScottsdaleCards.com. That's ScottsdaleCards.com. Or search Scottsdale Cards on your mobile phone today.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Time for some smart saving. Give the gift that lights up their future.
I'm Arizona State Treasurer Kimberly Yee. This holiday season, give the gift of education by opening an AZ 529 education savings plan. You can invest with as little as $15 a month, and anyone can give. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, anyone. Visit az529.gov today and give the present of a brighter future.
Now that's smart saving. Sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And all right, so far we've covered a bunch of random sports. We've talked about Monday Night Football. We got some NFL on the way. What haven't we done yet? Oh, that's right. We haven't gotten Keon Rose's college football recap. That's right, a recap of the dance party. So what do you say we do that right now, Keon? Why don't you fill us in on everything that happened over the weekend? I think you should start with ASU whooping UCLA's ass. How about that?
Then
How about that?
Then we can do it that way. Let's go for it. So ASU beating UCLA 17-7.
Hell yeah.
Road game, by the way, for the Sun Devils. So they're not doing it at home. They're doing it on the road. Obviously, player of that game, Cameron Skattebo. He was doing basically everything. Cameron Skattebo, if you want somebody to give you a rushing touchdown. Cameron Skattebo, if you want somebody to give you a passing touchdown. That's just how
you a Skataboo-boo. Huh? Here's another one. Yeah, the other day I said they Skatabooed in the face of UCLA.
I like this one better.
Today I came up with ASU gave you a Skataboo-boo.
This one feels a little less dirty. So I'm going to go with that one. But yeah, no, Cameron Skattebo doing all kinds of things. And I think
he make a tackle?
He did not make a tackle, though.
What do you need from him, Randy?
Did he have a sack? Sorry, did he have a sack?
No, he did not play defense. So
he's got some sack. I'll tell you that much.
He didn't do everything, then did he, Mr. Keon
Rose?
Rose?
Okay. Everything you need him to do, Randy.
On the offensive side of the ball for a guy that threw, for a guy that threw 2 passes to be the guy that actually completed the only touchdown pass of the day, and he threw that pass to Elijah Badger, who I just think is deeply underrated. I don't think that they actually voted him or first or second team all Pac-12 at the beginning of the season. That was a sham because he is a fantastic football player. 11 receptions, 109 yards, and a touchdown for Elijah Badger. So I want to give him some credit there because of what he's done for ASU this season. And I think that, I like the direction this team is going in. I like the talent that some of these young guys have. And now it's just about getting players in here that are more scheme fits for what Kenny Dillingham wants to do. But I like that the guys have bought in. I like that every single week there's no guaranteed victory for anybody who plays the Sun Devils. You do actually have to show up and give your best effort or you are going down. And I like that. It's fun to watch. So we'll take a look at some of these other scores of note. My Texas Longhorns went into the House of Horrors in Fort Worth, Texas, TCU. And I never feel comfortable about any of those games against TCU. I don't know why. Texas goes in there, they find a way to lose, and then the season's generally over. Can't afford to have another Big 12 loss, so nice 29-26 victory over TCU. Good to see Quinn Ewers back in the driver's seat at quarterback. Bad news for the Longhorns, though. Jonathan Brooks, the running back who was on his way to having not only a fantastic season, but probably being the top running back taken in the NFL draft, tore his ACL. He's done for the year. So he's going to probably stick around in college, bounce back next year and try and get back to where he was as far as an NFL prospect. But it does suck for him. He was having a really great year, and I feel bad for the guy a ton.
Did you see that Quinn Ewers is not 100% sure he's going to return for his junior season?
Yeah, and he shouldn't be 100% sure. Because he should be thinking about the NFL too. Now, I think this particular draft is crowded. You have Caleb Williams, you have Michael Penix Jr., you have Bo Nix, you have Drake May. I could probably be missing somebody else there too. And then Quinn Ewers would just be in that bunch of guys. Maybe you want to go a little bit higher in the draft, wait this thing out, and come back. But if he were to go, I do think that he is the caliber of quarterback. He's going to land somewhere and be expected to perform probably, sooner rather than later on whatever NFL franchise he would wind up in. So I did see that he wasn't sure that he'd come back, but I do think that he's certainly qualified. And look, Texas is deep at quarterback, so I'd miss him, but I think that Texas would be okay, and it would be Arch Manning season at that point. So we'll see how that goes in the future. You've got North Carolina and Duke, by the way, in some ACC action. North Carolina ranked number 24, getting the win over Duke in a game where these teams just refused to play defense, 47-45, which is actually worse than last year, where both of these teams squared off. North Carolina got the win, 35-33, in another game that they refused to play defense. So if you like shootouts, if you like, offenses going crazy, not so much the defensive side of the ball, this was the game for you. I do think that North Carolina owes a lot to Omarion Hampton. Gave him 169 yards on the ground, but Drake May was playing really good football for North Carolina, and he's the guy that a lot of people are looking at after Caleb Williams to be the second quarterback taken in the NFL draft. So just keeping an eye on that dude. Georgia beating Ole Miss 52-17, and it was I don't know how many different ways we can say that it was ugly, but we got Carson Beck out there, 300 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, and then you've got 100 yards on the ground rushing, a couple more touchdowns. It's just a number of different ways that Georgia can kick your ass. I think that it's possible, distinctly possible, they're winning the national title again. And at that point, we've got a three-peat going. So it's anybody's guess how long that particular thing keeps on going. Tulane and Tulsa. I remember we were talking about this on Friday, Randy. I told you this game was going to be a blowout. Tulane, Tulsa. Tulane won. I did say that, but it was not a blowout. It was not a blowout. 24-22, Tulane over Tulsa. And
I was thinking about you when I saw
yeah, man, that game was close. I was sweating bullets on that one because maybe I had money on it. Who knows?
Yeah,
so, Makai Hughes, the freshman running back, 131 yards on the ground, bailing out Tulane with his big performance there. Because Tulsa, despite being a 3-win football team, showed up to that game ready to play in a way that I was not prepared to see them do. Number 6, Oregon, beating USC 36-27. Really just bring this up to hurt Ralph. It wasn't that great of a game. Bo Nix, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. I don't know if Ralph is going to. Yeah, I know. And he did outplay Caleb Williams in that game, but I think anybody would playing against that defense. It's bad. And if Ralph's going to continue to blame me for it, I'm just going to keep bringing him up. So that's that. And then outside of the scoreboard, we do have obviously the firing of Jimbo Fisher. We talked about a little bit yesterday. 2 of the top candidates that people were looking at as potential replacements for Jimbo were Dan Lanning up at Oregon. Dan Lanning said today, told the media, no interest in the Texas A&M job. Don't talk to me about it. It's not happening. Then you got Dabo Swinney, who hasn't publicly said anything. But, man, the Clemson job is nice because he's done so much for that school. They can't really fire him. Why would you go to Texas A&M where the expectations are high? And the moment you go there, the clock is basically ticking on.
Exactly.
Can you go there and win something for us? Because they're not patient over there.
No,
and I don't say that just for Texas A&M. If you are a Texas-based university, you are generally not patient with people showing up and losing in your program. And when you think about all the resources and money that Texas A&M has, the fact that they couldn't do better under Jimbo Fisher is not a good sign. And they're going to expect an awful lot of the next person who shows up to take that job. A couple of other people who could potentially be on the hot seat. Sam Pittman at Arkansas. I really like him. I really like what he did for that school, but they've won only 3 games this year, including one really bad loss to a bad BYU team this year. It's kind of not defensible. And in the SEC, that will just cost you your job any time. So Sam Pittman is in serious trouble. And the guy I really like at Baylor, Dave Aranda, but we're talking about another Texas-based school that doesn't have the patience for losing. And Dave Aranda had a really good first season, and then since then, he's done a whole bunch of losing. And they're not thrilled about it down there in Waco. So I'm pretty sure that Dave Aranda is going to probably be in some trouble too. If we're going to take a look here at the weakest move of the week, that move goes to Alfonso Tupatala. He is the Defensive player for Washington that intercepted a pass, almost had himself a pick six, and then went to go celebrate and put the ball down on the 1 yard line so he could go dance. It is 2023.
Yeah.
This should not still be happening. Like that is an automatic. You are on the bench for the rest of your life if you do something like that.
Did his team win the game?
They did win the game. It was Washington.
The only thing that saves them.
It's the only thing that saves them. Washington beating Utah 35-28 in that game. But yeah, if that had cost them the game, I think that we'd have lost the scholarship. I mean, that is egregious. You can't do stuff like that. And the game ball going to Jaden Daniel and LSU. They played Florida, beat them 52-35, and Jaden Daniels had himself a game where, again, I'll remember what Randy said earlier.
Sound familiar?
Oh yeah, because I
used to be ASU quarterback.
Used to be an ASU quarterback. He had a game against Florida where he was the whole offense. 372 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and then on the ground another 234 yards and 2 more touchdowns. He accounted for basically everything that the Tigers would score.
Aren't we supposed to be mad at that guy?
I mean,
for leaving?
I don't think so, because he
I'm
was
not
leaving
mad
in the
at
middle
him.
of the Herm stuff.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him.
Was he supposed to ride it out and wait for Kenny Dillingham to be hired?
It just shows you the ineptitude of Herm coming here, because you see a Jaden Daniels play for LSU and you're like, where the hell was that when he was with ASU?
And you could see it at ASU. At ASU, there were flashes of it, but they never got it. They never got this out of him. And it's been 2 years now of him being there with Brian Kelly at LSU, and looking really good. Because it's not just this year; it was last year too. The moment he got there, he was a different player because Brian Kelly knows how to scheme things for Jaden Daniels, play to his strengths, try and hide some of the weaknesses that he has. They never really did that here at ASU for him, unfortunately. So, despite the fact that he's a talented player, just never quite.
And Jeffrey, I don't know. It's too bad you didn't see that game, but he broke it open. He went through the line of scrimmage, and I believe he was on his own 40-yard line and started running towards the end zone and ran away from everybody on the field. There was nobody, even in the defensive secondary, nobody that could catch him. Just ran away from him.
Who wants to see their ex doing well, though?
I get
I'm
that.
happy for him.
I'm happy for him because it's not his fault what
All
happened, and the fact that he left. He didn't leave a school. He was committed to play for Herm Edwards, and when Herm got fired, I don't think that you have the obligation to just stay there. You go where you think you can get the best coaching. He didn't know what was next for ASU, and rather than wait until somebody else takes that LSU spot, if that's where you really want to go, to work with Brian Kelly, a guy who is really good at coaching quarterbacks, I think that he took the best opportunity he could given the circumstances he had. I don't hate the guy at all, and I wish him the best.
Hate him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I wish him the best.
Yeah, whatever. Choro wants to know what happens to Arch Manning if Ewers comes back.
He
stays on the bench.
He competes for the starting job. I mean,
that means
what you do.
I mean, he could go into the transfer portal if he wants to, but I get the sense that that's not what his dad wants. So he'll probably stay right there on the bench.
By the way, Churro sent me a screenshot of what this Prime Vision is. Basically, it makes it look like you're watching Madden a little bit. Like you see the names over the players. They have those little circles around them like they do when you're watching a video game. And Churro says, yeah, it's like an expanded view right there. He says, basically, for each play, I want to see the whole field. I want to see downfield develop. I hate when they show the O-line and the quarterback scrambling, but you can't see what's going on down the field. I feel like the Prime Vision shows a tad bit more than the regular Sunday games, but maybe that's just me. It's the same camera angle. Not sure how much more to explain. I just want to see all 22 each play. Now, they do that only on Thursday nights, right?
Yeah, because it's a Prime thing. It's specifically.
I want to see that. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, same. I didn't realize.
How do you get
as
to that?
detailed as all that?
Is it like just like a drop down thing when you get to the screen there? Probably is. It probably has a choice like they do with the little LeBron James, whatever the hell that is. So Blissel Hayes says, hey, Jeffrey, I'll bet you $100 that Arizona Wildcats football team beats ASU Sun Devils on November 25th. Okay, sure. I'll take that bet. I'll take $100. I will bet you $100 that the Wildcats will beat ASU
on November 25th. Deal. By the way, Pickle D is letting us know that Devin Booker is probable for Wednesday. He says maybe now you should take that Fry's chicken bet. Yeah, I still don't think so.
Well, the thing is, the chemistry is not going to be there. Like, so
I'm not confident on bets yet, even with all three of them in the lineup.
They haven't played together yet. This will be their first game playing together in the regular season. That's going to take some time to work, man.
Kiss the Cook says, wait, pump the brakes. Did I miss the Arizona 1 discussion? Oh, wait, Zona won twice, beat number 2 Duke. We weren't talking about basketball.
They played? I wasn't aware.
And we don't really talk about schools
Arizona
that aren't
played,
in the country.
They played Saturday. I don't remember what game that was.
That school, if you'll call the meth lab that is not an American school. That's across the border. So
America.
Yeah. All right. Take a break. We'll come back. We got on this date in big Georgia sports history. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Today, it's drug war and foreign government sovereignty. Folks, we must look at the real substantive facts. Fentanyl, heroin, and cocaine precursors all come from the Chinese world to Latin America. We are suffering the modern version of the 1800s opium wars. 100,000 plus Americans die every year from drug overdoses, often tainted with hard drugs. Enemies will not be allowed to hide in civilian clothes. Latin American governments can't or will not control the flow of drugs through their countries. Every drug combatant will be hunted down and eliminated, no matter where they hide. Under the Quigley administration, war is war. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com, donate what you can, and together, we will make America work for everybody.
Greg Clark Automotive Specialist, located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue, servicing Valley automobiles for 44 years. And we're offering our fall inspection on the belts, water pump, radiator, and hoses. Also, our brake service inspection, recommended every year to prevent repairs and ensure top performance. For guaranteed family touch service, contact us at 602-246-2881. Highly rated by Google. Online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention the Fanatic to get 10% off.
Hi, I'm State School Superintendent Tom Horn. Arizona has a shortage of teachers and a need to improve students' proficiency in reading and math. We need to increase teachers' income, which they deserve, and to increase students' proficiency, which is my highest priority. I'm therefore providing $40 million for one-on-one tutoring for grades 1 through 8, public and charter school students who did not perform proficient on the last state test. Learn more today at azia.gov.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Education. If it's local, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender, you're here on 1580, The Fanatic. You know, Randy, the Ram trucks, they've got a version that's about ready to go electric. It's got a pretty good range, but I haven't seen one in action yet. I haven't seen one like climbing over rocks and going up dirt roads and stuff, you know. So I that Tesla Cybertruck, they're getting pretty close to bring in one of them things out. And I saw a video of one of them. Like hey, look, they've got one of these Cybertrucks. It's actually working. And they were trying to go up like stairs, like it was out in the dirt, right? It was like kind of like just to show you can try to test your truck. And oh my God, that thing did not look like it was doing well. It was spinning out, it couldn't quite get. My truck would just go done. Any other 4-wheel drive truck would just go done. This thing, oh my God, it was having a lot of trouble on that thing. So and then it just, when you see it sitting there, you're like, hey, that looks kind of cool. But then when you see it actually moving, it does not look cool.
I've never liked the look of that truck.
Look, here comes a toaster, it's trying to make its way up some rocks and stuff. And then there's something even worse that I noticed. I don't know if you heard this, but Tesla, it was like, hey, you want to buy this Cybertruck? Yeah, I've been on the waiting list. Let's do this. All right, congratulations. Oh, and by the way, you're not allowed to sell that for the first year. Well, what are you talking about? This is my truck. I can do what I want. No. You signed a thing. We can sue you for $50,000 if you try to resell your Cybertruck in the first year. I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Possible. And that Elon Musk is bad at business. None of this seems like any of it is good.
Or maybe is it possible that the truck sucks?
But why would they sue you for selling it? You just sell it to somebody else. Now somebody else has it. I mean, I know that there's a thing where the Tesla cars, let's say you get one with all the bells and whistles, right? You're like, all right, I got the money. I got myself a great Tesla. And then you sell the Tesla to somebody else. When they get the thing, suddenly Tesla turns off all the features and says, well, if you want these features, you have to buy them. Well, wait, I bought the thing from somebody else who paid for it. Nope, this is a whole new thing. Seriously, that's a thing.
That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. And but as for the truck, if the truck is an ugly truck and it barely functions as a truck, who would buy that?
Yeah, and the full self-driving mode, it costs $199 a month. It is not transferable to the new owner. There's stuff like that it's crazy. So yeah, number one, you're right. It's not really a truck. This is a pavement princess that will never, ever, ever be off-road.
I have seen literally cars do that test better than the Cybertruck did.
Oh, you saw the video?
Yeah.
It's like it's not having fun.
There was one little like lip at the top of the thing to get over, and it couldn't get over.
It took everything it had.
I mean, it wasn't hauling anything.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything in the bed.
Is surprising. Chief Skull says, yeah, electric motors are about speed, not torque. The kind of thing you need gearing to put out for torque. They haven't figured out how to apply both together without a huge battery drain.
So,
well, until then, stop trying to make a truck. So I'm wondering how
make a car.
I guess this Ram truck that they're coming out with is supposed to be electric. The concept car, everybody's like, holy crap, that's amazing. And then they said, well, here's what it's really going to look like. You're like, it looks like a Ram. Okay. But if that's no good off-road, then nobody's going to want that. Did you know what they did? They got rid of the Hemi. They got rid of the Hemi on the Dodge.
That's sad.
They got a V6 Tornado or Hurricane engine that's supposed to have way more horsepower. So, okay, I guess, but it just feels wrong.
Sad.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know they've come leaps and bounds with the V6 motor. I understand that, but to hear that they've done away with the legendary Hemi, you know what I mean?
No, I know.
I just more and more every time I see something about automotive news, it makes me long for the days of a 1973 4-wheel drive K5 Blazer. You don't have all this electronic stuff on it. You got no OnStar, so they can't shut your car down. Nobody controls it but you, and you can get parts pretty easy. I mean, now we're talking.
Yeah, but cars now are safer. And the fuel efficiency is better, but I'm with you. If I could get my hands on something like that, yeah, I'd be a happy man. I would be a happy man. You can get stuff that's resto modded to be like that. $100,000. I told my wife, because we were talking about the
the Jeep Wagoneer that they're selling now, the new one's $100,000 plus for a car. And I said, if I'm going to spend $100,000, I'm not getting a new Jeep Wagoneer. There's a company that'll take any Jeep Wagoneer they find, they strip it down to the frame, redo it. It's a brand new vehicle with a Hemi engine in it. I'll pay $100,000 for that. I'll pay $100,000 for a restored Jeep Wagoneer or a Cherokee Chief or something like that. But I'm not ever going to spend $100,000 on a new car. Give me a break.
I mean, my dad had a 73 Chevy C10 pickup truck. That thing ran for 200,000 miles before he put a motor in it.
Yeah, if you take care of them, and that's the other thing. Those old vehicles, you can swap out the motors. It's not the end of the world if your engine dies.
You don't have to be a midget to work under there. Oh, I'm sorry, a small person. Person
having a midget in there would be helpful.
I mean, that would be helpful.
You could have several in there.
Well, you could put like a bed in there.
You can get some Oompa Loompas.
Oompa Loompa, and then they could make candy when they're not busy working on them.
I think we're digressing a bit here, but I don't like the way things are going either. But we're gonna have to accept it. Electric cars are what's happening, and that is going to be the thing that's going to happen. It's going to transition. I just hope they get their act together before I have to get one. Chief Skull says the new Lucid EV, $180,000. It's faster than the Tesla, has longer range, but yeah, $180,000 BS.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Pickle D says the issue for the EV isn't the torque, it's controlling the torque. The torque is instantaneous, so it spins the tires before it has a chance to grip. Well, that's usually what's solved by weight, but then if the weight in an electric vehicle kills the battery, so it's like we said, it's a self-killing problem there.
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, unless we're about to run out of gas for our cars, I will never, and I mean never, buy an electric vehicle. And I don't care what brand it be. I'm not going to own an electric car ever. All right, man. That's cool. Blissful Hayes says Dodge needs to add Harman solar panels to the electric TRX. Oh my God, that they should never make an electric TRX. That's a blasphemy right there. Blasphemy. Let's see. Oh, Kiss the Cook is upset because I called you Arizona meth heads. I didn't say they're meth heads. I said they have a meth lab. Get it straight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He says, yeah, well, at least Zona doesn't have escorts and pregnant cheerleaders. See, it means you don't have any fun there. Chief Skull, thank you. Yeah, I think we better get to this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1993, Don Shula of the Miami Dolphins won his 325th game in the NFL, surpassing George Halas of the Chicago Bears as the winningest coach in pro football history, as Miami defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 19-14 at Veterans Stadium. It was Shula's 31st season as a coach. Yeah, he retired with 347 victories in 1995, and I guess he's still alive, right? Is he still alive?
No.
He just passed away recently, didn't he?
A few years ago.
Yeah, he owned a bunch of steakhouses too. He had some here. I think there's one now that still has his name, the Prime Steakhouse at Wild Horse Pass in the Gila River Casino in Chandler.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You ever go to Don Shula Steakhouse?
No.
Just wonder why, how do you go from coaching football to be like, let me show you how to do some steak?
Well, you've got a few dollars laying around and somebody comes up with the wild idea for you to, invest that money into a steakhouse chain.
I thought about it. I thought about taking the wife over to Don Shula's Steakhouse, and I went online and I looked at the prices and I'm like, oh, unless he's actually making the steak for me and talking about football while this is happening, the answer is no. And since he's passed away, the answer is double no. No, thank you. No, I'm serious. Those steaks are expensive, like $90 for.
No, I'm good.
I get it if you're like going to Ruth Chris or something like that, but no, thank you. Oh, by the way, Jean-Pierre Paul's back. He's going to be with the Saints now. Evidently, he gave his contract. He signed a contract with them, and he gave the contract 1.5 thumbs up. So good to see him back.
Damn. Oh my God.
Why did that hit me so funny?
That's the end of the show. I mean, we're gonna talk about midgets getting inside the Yeah, like this. We really should have a TV show. Why haven't they brought us our TV show yet?
I don't know.
Unless you're watching the YouTube, you're going to miss a few things, I guess. People in the car are like, dude, you're supposed to be a radio show. Can't you focus on one thing? Even
I did,
one damn
I did
thing?
1.5 thumbs up on the camera. That's what I did.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
I don't want to do any more show.
Well, there's not much left. So
I know, but I don't feel like getting started into something. If I could kind of start something, but I guarantee you everyone's going to want to talk about it tomorrow. You know, there's a story I saw in Science that said zapping your penis with AM radio waves can help fight erectile dysfunction.
Huh.
I'm not making this up. It's a real study.
So maybe that's what's the deal with me. You know, I started out at a 5,000 watt AM station so many years ago.
No, here's what's going to happen. Now, if I tell you that zapping your penis with AM radio waves, we're going to have a bunch of old guys standing around our transmitter.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Leaning backwards,
maybe
thrusting
that's
their crotch at it, going, come on,
Hit me.
Hit me. Give me that 50,000 watts of boner right here. Make it happen.
Come on, daylight power up. Let's go. Come
on. My God.
Daddy needs a good ding dong. Let's go.
That's why the AM radio will never die.
Yep. Now that I've said this, zapping your penis with AM radio waves could fight erectile dysfunction.
There it is.
I hope they don't find out where our transmitter is.
Yeah.
Gonna put Viagra out of business.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. We'll be back in your radio again tomorrow at 3 p.m. where you can fight erectile dysfunction.
Standing around our
It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce,